Yep. I was not getting the attention in my marriage that I thought was going to be there.
Hey guys, welcome to Little Blackbird 91. Yes, the mic is on today. I made sure the mic is on today. The mic is on today. Yeah. Listen, we're talking to you guys obviously about Married at First Sight, season 18, episode 14. And I put season 12 in the chat, but don't worry about that. Look, you know, this particular episode, it was explosive. There were many, many things that were happening on this particular episode of the show. Okay, there was manipulation on all sides of the table. Okay, we had David lying. We had Michelle being a Decepticon. We had Maddison giving up the madness by actually giving in and running away from the table and making it bait that they're cheating. And then we had, obviously, unfortunately, Alan, who was on the bitter end of all the bad behavior from the rest of the table people, right? We had Ike coming in and serving papers when he didn't need to. Okay, he was serving papers when he needed not to, and he only had one paper. That made no sense. Okay, we also had Juan and Carla, and I'm gonna be honest with you. We know that they're just trying to make it through. Okay, they're trying to make it through to another day because there ain't no way that this thing he hasn't touched her. It's been so long since I touched a wanting hand. Like, you know what I'm saying, Chew? I don't know what I was doing with my hand there, but don't worry about that. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, it's been so long since I've touched a wanting hand. Like, nothing's going on. Brother couldn't even have an intimate moment last week. And this week, he said he don't do the spiritual stuff, yet his whole family does spiritual stuff. I said, what's going on? One, just say you hate her. You know what I mean? You don't like her one bit, bro. He don't like her one bit. And also as well, you know, we know EMEM as well. You know, I need her to give up the ghost. Baby, that is not your husband. He ain't been your husband. He never been your husband, baby. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Sometimes you have to let it go. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, I need you to let it go, sis. All right? Okay, like, let him go. Okay, when she was saying Ikechi hasn't given up, no, the brother has given up. Let it go, let it go. This time we'll let it go. Okay. So yeah, that was happening there. And then can we talk about obviously Thomas and Camille? Because I want to say this: why is Thomas dawdling on the house situation? Like, he's proper dawdling. I don't know why he's dawdling on the house situation. It's kind of confusing as to why he's struggling to be able to have this house situation going on. I don't know if there's something behind it. I don't know if he's stalling because he's not so sure about Camille. But it does feel like he's stalling for something. Something is happening. You know what I'm saying to you? And I'm not sure what. I would love to know what is happening. But, you know, listen, alas, the table had some craziness that was happening, you know, and it was good to kind of see, you know, this episode break down as it did. You know, the key part for me was when David walked in and I said the composure that he had to walk in that room and look Alan in the eye knowing that he was mashing his girl. I said, good sir. You know, let me see if I can find a clip for you. I said, the fact that he walked in with confidence and sat down and said, you can make me a Hennessy drink knowing he was smashing his bird. Crazy work. It takes a level of dark hearts to do such a thing.
Huh? Hey, there we go.
Hello.
How are you, sugar?
We're good. How are you?
Good.
Hi.
Hello. How are you?
Oh, great. Hi.
Let's pose it there. See the hugging is hugging. I'm surprised he didn't go for her ass. I mean, listen, look. All jokes aside, like, you know, it does take a level of balls. You know what I'm saying? And we were talking about this yesterday, the men's panel, which was amazing yesterday, actually. I'm still enthralled about that because we had a great conversation yesterday. But, you know, these things, you know, it's sad to see. You know, because we can all see what's happening. I feel for Alan. I'm saying the repercussions of this mentally is crazy. You see, when I got cheated on, yeah, it wasn't the whole world. But it felt like the whole world, innit? When you find out that family knows and certain people know, you're like, you want to destroy everybody. So you can't trust nobody. After that, you can't trust nobody. So I can understand how this could be so frustrating and very painful at the same time for Alan. You know, I don't want to dismiss and belittle what he went through as well. It is a very painful thing. On national television, it's crazy. Okay, all right. A national television is absolutely crazy. You know what I'm saying to you? Okay, so Lila asks, how do you become a member? For those of you, because it is going to go members only, those of you who are not members yet, how you become a member, there's a dollar sign at the bottom of the chat. I am trying not to. The DP's looking kind of fire. Layla, what you say? Okay, I'm changed. I'm praying, and Father, in the name of Jesus, I've changed my ways. But there's a dollar sign at the bottom of the chat. Just click on it, and then you can become a member that way. Or it may not allow you sometimes, so change your what you're looking at. So if you're on your phone, use a laptop. If you're on your laptop, use your iPad. If you're on your iPad, use your phone. Just use something else that's different from what you're using to watch this, and then you can be able to actually be able to sign up to the membership as well. Again, sign up to the membership because it's going to go members only as well in a few minutes. I need to stop hitting on some of the people that are in the chat because we're changed now. We're for the Lord and we're trying to be better. Okay, but that picture is fire. All right, cool. Hey, listen. So this is going to be a real good conversation. I've got the Mandem already behind the scenes, as well, ready to go. I see Latoya's coming as well, so fantastic. The super panels are gathering speed as well. Trey, I hope you got a good Wi-Fi wherever you are across the country. Look, this particular season is warming up because we're now at a point where I do believe, that we're at the pinnacle, and I think only Thomas and Camille are the only ones going to make it through. I mean, they're the only ones that should make it through. Everybody else is a wash. If I'm honest with you, everybody else on the show is a wash. Their relationship is done. Like there's nothing to it. Juan and Carla haven't got nothing going. There's no emotional connection, no spiritual connection, no sexual connection. You ain't got nothing. No spiritual, no financial, no emotion. Like this is like there's not one plane of connection they have. Not one. You know what I'm saying to you? They haven't got even that. So this is not going anywhere with them people there, right? And then you talk about obviously EMEM and Ikechi. Now the question is, and here's the question: this is dark arts. See, some of you don't want to be in here, but the dark arts have to be asked. Should Maddison admit that she cheated on Alan? Now, if the cameras weren't here, I'm asking a question. I want those of you in the chat. And I want the honest chat. In fact, I'm going to make it a poll so that no one has to type it, so we don't have to see what your actual answer is. Okay? So we don't have to see what your actual answer is. Okay? We're going to make it a poll. All right? I want to know if this wasn't on TV. Okay? If this wasn't on TV. Okay? Should Maddison confess? I must confess. My loneliness is killing me now. Should she confess? Okay. Should she confess to cheating on Alan? I'm just saying, if he ain't find out, should she confess? Because it's gonna break the marriage if she tells the truth. So should she confess if she hasn't been caught? That's my question. That's what I'm asking. Okay. That's all I'm asking. All right. That's all I'm asking. All right. Okay, that's all I'm asking. Okay. I'm going to put it as a poll. There we go. Got a poll in there. Okay. All right. I just wanted to just wind up the people a little bit, warm them up a little bit, get them into speed. We've got 230 people in the room. So before we go anywhere and we get the super panel on, first and foremost, I want you guys to do me a massive favor. Please like the live. If you haven't done so already, please like the live. If you have not done so, please like the live. I got one more, obviously, poll coming up about whether you cheated before or not, because I think that'll be a good poll to have. Again, it's anonymous, so no one's going to know. But I want to ask the question again. Please like, share, subscribe. And if you haven't done so and you're in this room, click on the bell button, right? Because you're not going to get the notifications of the uploads. A lot of you ask me why you don't know I'm going live, or you don't know why I haven't uploaded, and I have. It's because you have to click on the bell button. Click on the bell button for notifications of the upload as well. Okay, all right. And again, once more, let you guys know, I have a few spots open. I'm not going to open fully yet on my coaching. I haven't done it yet because I want to just take a bit more time. If you do want coaching as well, which I believe you want some personalized one-to-one coaching where we break down attachment styles, we talk about boundaries, we talk about finding your voice, we talk about being assertive in your communication, we talk about healing, growth, and transformation. If that's something that you're really needing right now, I still have a few spots still open. You can use the link down below in the description box as my emergency coaching, because I haven't opened up my main coaching spaces as of yet. I'll open up. I think that in April when I fully open up again, so we can go back again. So if you want some coaching as well, click on that link and get yourself into my coaching spots as well. Okay, so I got my panelists behind the scenes who are going to come on and share their perspectives as well. I know a lot of you guys want to see Seaway. She has told me she's not here tonight. I'm not even going to pretend. I know a lot of you are going to be disappointed. Seaway is not here tonight. I do apologize, but she has other commitments right now. She is b-bowling. Okay, and that girl can play, so you better leave that girl alone. But she won't be here tonight. So I know you guys might have been waiting for her tonight, but unfortunately she won't be here. Okay. All right. So my panelists tonight, night. My panelists tonight, night. All right. Listen, my first panelist coming up to the stage. You know who he is. Okay. All right. He gonna tell you it's whack. He gonna tell you it's out of pocket. He gonna tell you that this person here, they ain't about that life. You know what I'm saying to you? They got a little bit too much dip on that chip. Okay? All right? First and foremost, I want to welcome to the stage my good brother, Philo Phil, baby. What you telling me, Philo Phil?
What's happening? What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm on the road heading home, but I'm here to get order back in the palace. Last week, y'all was wilding in the chat. Y'all was wilding on the panel. Baby, I'm back. Too much dip was on these chips. We had fondue dip. We had chocolate dip. We had strawberry cheesecake dip. We had queso dip. We had rotel dip. Nah, Phil is back in the building, yo. I'm going hard. This size 13 is on everybody's neck except for one person, surprisingly. I'm on next tonight.
Yo. Hey, one thing about Phil, he's gonna introduce himself with proper energy. Get me? I appreciate Phil. Honestly, good energy. My next person, he is standing in for our wonderful Seaway. You know, he started to find himself aligned with Seaway. He started to sound a little like Seaway at some points. I'm getting a little concerned. Okay, but you know, he's from the north to the west to the south to the east. You know who he is. He's prime time, baby. He's always on time. Picking up the... No, I'm gonna stop. Listen, welcome to the stage, prime time EASTON, baby. What you telling me, EASTON?
Nothing much. How we doing, chat? How we doing, panelists? This is gonna be an amazing panel. I will be acting in by way of Seaway. We are aligned, and I know my good sister is over here broadcasting and keeping up with the basketball. I will be, working through with her through our mind, and we'll get this thing going, and we will hold all these people accountable, and there will be carnage.
That's right. I like that. He said there will be carnage. All right, cool. My next person coming up to the stage, you know who he is. Long-time favorite. He will tell you a story, okay? Can I tell you a little story? Here it goes. You know what I'm saying? You know who he is, baby. Okay? All right? Long-time favorite because he's always on the road, okay? He's always somebody that tells a story as long as the vehicle that he drives, okay? He gonna bring you in. He gonna narrate. He gonna narrate. He gonna be animated. He gonna sell you ice to an Eskimo. That's for sure. He gonna do it, okay? Won't he do it? Our next person, welcome to the stage. He's got the shades on. He's ready to show out today. Is Master Trey. What are you telling me, brother?
We ain't traveling right now. We home. So home.
Button up.
Home tonight. We're gonna talk about, the word for me ain't cornish. I'm over it by this point. This is ridiculous. I thought I was watching the circus this episode. I was like, you got to be playing with me. All of y'all playing with me right now. You want me to take this seriously? But we're going to get into it.
I appreciate you. Hey, love for that. All right, my next person on the stage, shout out. Listen, I like her stories because she's going to tell us about the 16 continents that she's going to tell your story from. And I appreciate it because she always comes with a different angle, and it seems to be very balanced. And I like that. You know what I'm saying, Chu? Now she has some wild takes. She does like to jump off a little bit of the cliff. You know what I'm saying? We ain't had a cliff jumper in a little while, so it's good to have somebody who be jumping off the cliff a little bit to give us a different perspective. You know what I'm saying, Chu? All right. So we're gonna welcome to the stage Latoya, baby. What you telling me, Latoya, baby?
Hey y'all, this is Latoya Deshawn, your conservative bae. All right, I'm ready to get it in tonight. Trey is my soul brother. Okay, you see it. I'm ready to get it in. I'm ready.
Listen, I love that. I know some other people will join us a little bit later on, but look, we're gonna kick off the show, right? Because I need to be on time these days, and I'm trying to be better. Okay, but listen. This particular episode was crazy, so I want to get everybody's initial thoughts of this episode. When I say initial thoughts, what moment stuck out to you? You give me one moment for each person. I want one moment that stuck out to you, that you was like, damn, this episode. You know what I'm saying to you? One moment that stuck out to you. I'm going to Phil first. Phil, tell me about one moment in the episode that stuck out to you.
The one moment that stuck out to me is Maddison coming in at 1:30, 2:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I can't, man, I'm on her neck tonight, man. This 13 is on Maddison.
Phil be killing me. Easton, one moment in the show that you was like,
Low hanging fruit, but Ikechi holding up the wall once again. And that pretty much brought the entirety of his arc together. He is just the wall. He just holds up the wall. He stinks up the room. He is an energy vampire, and then to have the audacity to assume that he's not making a scene and then make a scene by, giving her 1 page of the divorce papers. I think that was the cherry on top for me.
like that. Latoya, give me your one moment.
I was embarrassed about how Maddison, David, and Michelle just lie. And we can add Itchy to the list as well. They are bad liars, and I want to teach everybody to be a better liar if that's what you're going to do.
At least you're going to keep it real. I hear it. Trey, your one moment.
Tell me why you lying. Tell me why you lying. It was ridiculous. Like, the one moment that struck me was it hit me when David and what's her name? Michelle. Is it Michelle? David? Yeah. David and Michelle was getting into it. He was trying to tell his truth. It was a lie. And she goes storm out. She's super mad. And it just hit me when you heard the producers talking, tell me the truth. And I was like, oh my God, this is all set up. They're trying to force this storyline down our throats. Why? Why? Why?
I definitely hear that. Can't lie to you. I definitely hear that as well. I definitely hear that. Yes, Latoya, you're looking beautiful as well. Loving the smile, loving the lipstick as well. Looking. Now, obviously, talking about this particular show and this particular everything that's happened, I want to start off on Thomas and Camille because they had a situation, right? Their situation was simply that they were talking about moving in together, and it seemed like Thomas was a little bit hesitant when it came to actually potentially moving in. So I want to get your particular perspectives. Did you sense Thomas's hesitancy? And if you did, why do you feel that Thomas had this hesitancy towards wanting to move in with Camille? Or maybe if you saw it differently, let me know your particular thoughts. And let me start from the back and go to the front. Trey, what's your thoughts? Thomas and Camille, did you see it differently?
Maybe somewhat slightly. This is probably the first week I may have to give a little bit of smoke to Thomas. I'm like, come on, bro. You got to have somewhat of a plan. Something. Because you know this is going to come. What are we doing after the 8 weeks? If it's going to be a yes, whatever. What is our living situation? Even I had to admit, bro, you being way too lackadaisical with this. You need some sort of idea. My lease is up this time, your lease is up this time. We can start looking for a place together at this time. Something. We stay here, you know. He was way too accommodating. This may goes towards the hit that you notice it was trying to paint Thomas in the beginning of the season. He doesn't have a true dominant personality. You know, he may be on the, I don't want to use the word weak, but you know, he may be on the other side. He's very accommodating. And you can tell by some of his answers. He was trying to be accommodating with everything that she wanted. When she was basically looking for him, be the man, take somewhat of a charge. Just somewhat. It didn't even have to be much. Just lead. He was way too, I just think we'll work it out. Oh, whatever you want to do, it's fine with me. We'll just make it work. I'm like, bro, come on, you're losing her. Which now explain the clip of where it was the clip we saw last week when they were talking in the restaurant this week. Now I understand why she worded who, you know, what may happen after this. It could be, hey, that was nice, and that'd be it. Now I understand why she said that. Because it's like, bro, you wait till now to get flaky. But then I have to flick it back on the other end. Why we're waiting till now to have this conversation? I understand other things was going on in your relationship. Y'all probably wasn't in the place to have it. I don't know. But I would have brought it up at least. Like, we got to talk about it. You know, something. Okay. Finances, life, babies, we got to talk about it.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you, Latoya. Your perspective, Thomas. Is he being hesitant, or is it a case of someone even put in the chat like he's seeking her approval? Is that how you're seeing it? How do you see the Thomas and Camille situation and moving in together? Because Pascal seems to be trying to push a bit more on them.
I feel like he knows that she's not sure about him, and so he's still. He's looking for something to be really secure in this relationship. And even when they were at dinner, she was just like, well, maybe this was fun while it lasted or whatever. But it's something that Thomas did at the table when they were at the retreat, when they were talking about Ikechi. And he just sounded like a grown man that don't play to a certain extent. And we haven't really seen that kind of energy from him. And I bet you, see, the thing about Thomas, he has people who love him. So I bet you he's in the background talking to his brother and some other people, and they're making him really think about this decision that he has to make in a few days. And Camille has not made it easy for them to make a decision. Because I believe that if they were really ready to move forward, this whole idea of we have separate apartments and we still have leases, none of that would matter. You can break a lease. This is not a big deal. But I think she's not sure about him, and therefore he's still keeping his guard up, as he should.
I like that. Easton, what's your thoughts to this? You know, as a man, you know, we're tasked with being, you know, the leader and taking charge of some things. Why do you think he's been hesitant around this issue of moving in and taking his time with it?
I don't necessarily think it's him. I think he's leading by what he is doing, in the sense that he's not sure. So I think that we as men know, and I mean anybody knows, men and women know, like if you're not sure about something, it's not always best to move or make a drastic decision or anything like that. And I think that Thomas is a thinker. And one thing about thinkers, they gonna think. And in his mind, he's calculating all the moments that they've dated, that they've been together, that they've shared time, whether it been the intimacy, whether it been him pulling his hamstring, her jumping on his back. He's calculating all this stuff in his head. And for him, he doesn't feel necessarily, he might not feel comfortable enough with what he's seen so far to make the commitment of moving in with somebody, because again, playing house is very serious, especially the older you get. You know, I mean, people have played house younger, and you might be like in college, y'all staying in the same dorm room or y'all staying in the same apartment. But to move in with somebody and basically take that next step in y'all's journey is a lot. And I think that he's trying to quantify it in his head with what he's seeing and what she's presenting, with also how he feels. And I just think that he might be leading by not making the decision because he's not ready and he's not sure. And maybe he could be a little bit more assertive and say, hey, I'm not ready for this yet. But also he knows, he's probably thinking to himself, I know Camille, if I say something like this will get her way off the bandwagon, rather than me just kind of being like, let me pump the brakes here and kind of calculate this in my mind before I make a move one way or another. Because this is the defining moment where I'm like, they probably won't say yes to each other at the end of this thing. Like, this was like it was getting boring for a bit, but this was like, I think that there's a little bit more deep-seated stuff there, and they're trying to figure out what's best for each other as well.
Definitely hear that. Phil, jump in for me. What's your perspective on this on Camille and Thomas?
I need Camille to come speak into the mic. Thomas needs you to come speak into the mic. We need to hear you in the mic. But Thomas is whack, yo. Super whack. I'm with Trey. Yo, Thomas, you're 40-something years old. You know you want to live with that woman. Y'all should be making plans to live together. What are we doing? Oh, I'm going to go back to my place and you're going to go back to your place because we have leases? Yo, get out of here. Thomas needs to, this is the part where Camille is saying she needs a leader. Thomas needs to be a leader and be a man. Yo, make it happen. Y'all marriage is not going to work living in separate apartments. What are we doing? Yo, Thomas was whack for that one. I can't defend that. Thomas was whack. Thomas needs to be a leader and be a man and say how he feels and what he wants. That was super whack.
Damn. Oh, wow. He said super whack. Before you go, I'm going to get Jack and Glenn and you can reply, Trey. Glenn. Talk to us, man, brother. It's good to see you on here, sir.
What's up, man? Good to be here for the day, man. It's been a while, yes, sir. Man, but I think Thomas needs to lead, though. When you at this point, when they both at this point, they need to have a conversation, right? Like, what are we doing? There's several options, man. You can go to her place, his place, or they can stay where they're at, right? They can be like, you know what, we want to stay here. If it's in the middle, I know one of the biggest issues was that one lived on one side of town, one lived on the other side of town. But Thomas needs he needs to start the conversation. But the first conversation that needs to be had is like, okay, are we going to stay together? He's a financial guy. He's not trying to waste no bread. So he's not going to try to waste no money. So if I go out there and we go get this apartment or get this house and then 4 weeks later you leave me, I'm stuck. I'm stuck like Chuck. So I need to know that we're going to be together for the long haul. And I don't want to waste some money, especially if I'm breaking my lease. Because I'm spending money breaking my lease. You can spend money break your lease. And we're going to be in a place. Let's make sure we're in this place for a long time. So he's just being cautious. I mean, you can still lead and be cautious at the same time. So he just needs to have some plans like, okay, let's try here. But at the same time, he's moving cautious because he doesn't want to make her upset. He don't want her to get the wrong answer, right? Because if he picks a place that she doesn't like, then we got a whole nother issue. She made a man run sprints when he was late. Can you imagine what happens if he picks the wrong spot? So, so it's one of those things that they have to do together to figure out, hey, where we're going to live at, what is economical for both of us, what is central for both of us, because it seems like they work two different parts of Chicago, and how can we make it? So there's a lot to have to go into this, and I think Camille needs to open up and tell him what she wants, and they need to do it together, not just Thomas's piece, but he might want to initiate the conversation and work this thing out together. Go look at apartments together. Maybe look at a house together. What your finances look like, so at least there can be some kind of consistency, but it also be a time frame where we're not wasting any money doing this neither. Because I need to know you're going to say yes on decision day. Because she was talking a little slow.
All right, listen, I'm liking this. Listen, I've got another question to ask you guys about the Thomas and Camille situation before you guys jump back in. But before we do, listen, audience members, we're about to go into members only in about a minute and a half. So if you haven't joined the membership, you won't be able to talk in the chat. You'll still be able to watch, but you won't be able to talk in the membership. And I can see that the chat is flowing, full of different advices and different points of view as well. Shout out to Valerie, who also sent us and says, hey, everyone, with a $1.99. I appreciate you so much. Leah as well. Thank you so much as well for sending. I know you've become a member as well. Shout out to you, baby. And listen, Ari, we appreciate you. Honestly, listen, shout out to you for the 10 memberships out there, baby. Listen, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for your generosity. It's always appreciated. You know what I'm saying to you? I started thinking of a scripture, when Paul was asking for the funds so he can go and take it to Jerusalem and them. So that's what you're doing, Ari. You know what I'm saying to you? Now, it's not Jerusalem, but baby, you're helping the people out. All right, listen. So I got another question for you and for the audience as well, actually, who can also also be involved in this. This particular situation, right? Is there a world where we look at the reason why maybe Thomas is hesitant, and permit me to say this, is one, he ain't got no head. I'm just gonna be honest with you, okay? He ain't got no head, okay? And he's doing all the head hunting. You know what I'm saying? That's number one. So lack of reciprocity. Number two, also, could it be that maybe he's now having the reaction that we wanted him to have, but he's doing it passive aggressively when she called him the B word? Is there a world that maybe existing, or is this literally his behavior? That's the question I'm asking. Is it because of maybe what he's experienced in a relationship, or is it his behavior? You know what I'm saying? I want to ask that question. Latoya, you look like you're ready to go for it. Go for it, and then I'm gonna get Trey in.
I think it's all of it. And you can even find more reasons. And I'm going to say it's that too. I think it's everything. When I think about Camille, or when I think about Thomas, it's like, generally it would look good having a young woman on your arm. But I really think in this case, Thomas probably needed a woman who was a little bit older, right? And just had more maturity and just had a different perspective than what she has. And yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. And, I kind of forgot about it. But yeah, if this man ain't been getting topped off, like, I just know if it was the other way around. And ladies, let me know in the comments, like, would this be a goal if, like, you have not been, if he hasn't seen your ecstasy face in a certain kind of position? So I just think, like, come on, man. You start how you want to finish. And if she's doing this now, like, this is going to show up again, and then it'll show up in other ways. And like, how much do we want to deal with this immature person? And so I really just think it comes down to age, and that he was probably better fitted for someone who was a little bit older.
I appreciate it. Trey, go for it.
Honestly, I don't know, because Thomas has been acting this way since the very beginning. So this may just be him, his personality, which is fine. I think Thomas is fine. But I think Kojo did hit it on the head. He is coming off slightly passive aggressive in some scenes, in some ways. He's I get a sense that Thomas is not the one. Well, you know what? I'm gonna be honest. Thomas is a little confusing at times. Because if you notice, fast forward when it was at the little get together with, when it went on the little getaway vacation, whatever, when it was at the table, that was the first time I've ever heard Thomas be forceful in his speech when he was at that table. And like, bro sounded like a man. He's like, no, I'm saying what I got to say. This is what it is. This is how I feel. That situation ain't right. Here's why. That was the first time we actually heard Thomas, dare I say, talk with a little bit of aggression. Just a little bit. I found that surprising. I was like, where's this Thomas been? Which leads me to wonder, what else you hiding behind that facade, Thomas? What's really going on? What version of you are we getting versus the version that you're giving Camille? I got questions now. Interesting. So yeah, I'm just a little more confused, but I still stand on he should have been. Oh, what I was going to say to earlier, this goes what I'm about to say now. It wasn't a pushback towards what Easton said. I was just going to comment by saying, you're right, Easton, but even if he's unsure about Camille, he still should have had some sort of plan laid out. If he was really gangster enough, I would have had a plan. If it was me, I would have had a plan for her and me. I would have told her my plan for me if we don't make it out. Either way, this train is moving forward. You either getting on, you staying on the platform. Which one's going to be?
I love that. Easton, respond to that for me. As well as obviously the question, which is obviously around whether it is the past endeavors by Camille have made him reconsider maybe, or it's just a case of him just being passive in dealing with relationship. What's your thoughts on this?
To respond to Trey, no, I agree. I definitely think that Thomas, as a man, and obviously as Camille wanting him to lead, he should have had a plan laid out. I also think and give a little space for people to be a little bit more passive in the sense of like they don't necessarily want to be as forceful with their with their delivery or how they approach certain things. I also, again, give him a little bit of grace because he is somebody who's coming from a pretty tumultuous childhood. And so I do give him a little bit of areas where he can kind of navigate, and he might not have a great representation of that, or he might be trying to figure things out and trying to identify that throughout his journey. But I do believe he should have had that laid out, and it would have made things a little bit smoother with Camille. I just think and wholeheartedly believe that he's trying to, I think he's trying to qualify Camille, and all guys, we kind of know this, like you might try to qualify somebody, and women, again, y'all might know this too, but you'll know that you'll try to qualify somebody knowing good and dang well they've already hit your 3 red flags. They've already done everything under the sun to disqualify themselves, but you gonna qualify them maybe because they look pretty, or that y'all been intimate or something along those lines, and you might try to qualify them. And I believe that Thomas is having that internal battle with him, being like, my mind is telling me no because X, Y, and Z. I've seen how she's acting in all of these different things, but my body, we done, she put it on me. She jumped on my back. I ain't never did that before. I don't get, it's not reciprocal, but maybe if I keep working hard enough, eventually, she'll give me the time of the day to do that on me. I think he's trying to quantify and qualify Camille, but in the grand scheme of things, he knows in the back of his mind that this probably ain't it, because you also know that you can't change anybody. So in my opinion, it's just it's a big internal battle between what his heart wants and what his mind wants, and he's doing it extremely passively, and in the midst of that, he's kind of failing in the leading category.
Easton, what happened, my brother? You getting a little... What's happening? I've been gone for a couple of weeks. Easton, you supposed to be with me in the carnage. Nah, man. Thomas is weak sauce. My man needs to speak up. If he's having doubts about Camille, he needs to express to her those doubts that he is having. That's a problem for me, especially him being an older man. If he doesn't think that she's the one, those are the conversations they need to be having. I don't want to hear nothing about no childhood. Nah, your childhood ain't got nothing to do with none of this. Thomas needs to be direct. I think he does like Camille. He around here being a munch. So he definitely likes her. He does want her to speak into the mic. I believe he definitely wants her to speak into the mic. But nah, Thomas needs to work on his communication. If he's having doubts about this woman, he needs to let her know. Camille has done a lot. She's done way too much, but he owes her proper communication on where he stands at with her if he is really having doubts. But nah, Thomas like Camille. Thomas I hate to say this, but he a little long in the tooth. I don't think he thinks he has that many options out there. And this is someone who seems on the outside, because they do align on a lot of stuff, like with their morals and values. He just ain't got enough swag. But no, Thomas needs to take the lead, yo. You're a man. She's looking for you to lead. I'm pretty sure if Thomas said, hey, I want us to move in together and have a serious conversation about how much does it cost to break a lease? Usually it's 1 month ahead. It's not that deep. And they find a place in the middle, but he needs to take some type of leadership role, yo. Nah, you can't leave it up to Camille. If he left it up to Camille where they staying at, they stand on the south side on some wild street in the wild hundreds. Back in the old days, not the new days. That's where they stand if they leave it up to Camille. Nah, Thomas, be a man, yo. Take the lead.
Like I said, he's passive aggressive, but at the same time, he needs to again take the lead. I don't think it's dealing with all the other stuff. I think it's the fact that he doesn't want to make a mistake. We know he lived with somebody for 9 years. It was in a 9-year relationship. I can't remember if he lived with that person or not. So he's being cautious. He doesn't want to make a mistake. He wants to be like, hey, you know what? If he really likes Camille, he's like, I want this one to be the one. So even if it means me moving into an apartment, even if it's mean us moving much slower. I don't want to backtrack and lose this marriage. I really think he believes in Camille. I think he likes Camille, but she needs him to be vocal. But I don't know if she ever shared with him what she needs him to be vocal on, and the conversation they need to have. And that's the conversation they need to have about at what areas do you want me to lead? Because if you want me to lead in every area, or you want me to lead in some areas, or you just want me to take over the whole thing. Because at the same time, he doesn't want to take away her independence. So I think Thomas is confused about what he needs to do and where he wants to go. But it is a lot to do with being a passive aggressiveness. Almost to the point where he thinks he's going to mess up and lose her if he makes the wrong decision.
I disagree with that. Camille has expressed that she wants him to be a leader. I don't think it matters where he leads. They can have a conversation afterwards. She just wants him to make a move and lead her somewhere, and then, you know, they can talk along the way. But Thomas don't even do that. Yo, Thomas needs to step it up. I'm sorry, yo. Camille is a lot, but Thomas, you a man, and I need you to start walking in your manhood. Be a leader.
Real quick, I push back on that because when you say leader, that is very broad and very general. And when she is thinking, or when she says leader, I think that she is using the example of her dad. And if you listen to her dad is more of a benevolent leader in the sense of like, I wish she was just, when he was talking about how her mentality was when playing basketball, like if she could have been better if she would have done X, Y, and Z. Like, if that's who you listening to and that's who's kind of setting the tempo and the pace of what you imagine what a leader is, then, I mean, if I was Thomas, I'd shut up too. I wouldn't want to say nothing because your opinion or your example of a leader isn't what I would ever be. And I mean, I'm just wasting my time here. Like, I just don't think that she has a very good example of a leader, and everything that she compares Thomas to is to her dad. And so I don't think that he's like, he feels confident to lead in that way because he doesn't stack up that way.
But see, that's a problem because that's just simple communication. Discussing what leadership roles look like, discussing what I'm looking for in you. Camille has said she wants him to take more of a control in things and in their relationship. She stated that. So, I mean, if she is sort of looking for a father figure. She says she likes older dudes. She's looking for a man to like take control. And Thomas needs to talk. He needs to open up his mouth and say what he wants and needs out of this relationship. Thomas has got to communicate more. It's not time to be walking on eggshells. If we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And if we ain't, let me know.
I want to just jump in for a second. Because Phil, my Chicago brother, what are you saying? A whole lot. I want to know what this woman has really done. As far as we've seen, she is one of the most emotionally unavailable women that we've seen in a while. And the last time in one of the past episodes, she called this man a Mitch. Okay, I'm not going to say the word, a Mitch. Okay, she keeps on saying she wants him to take control. But what kind of like what Issa said, it seems like the control she wants is that of her dad. It doesn't even seem like it would be singular to just an individual outside of who her dad is. I think she wants what her dad is. And by her not being emotionally available, it makes, when a person is emotionally available, they're going to pull back because what? If he does it again, is she going to call him out his name again? Is she going to call him a punk this time? So I just think that he has reservations about this because I think at the end of the day, yeah, like people can change, but she don't look like she's the one, and she has not exhibited a woman that is looking like she's willing to be malleable to her relationship. She has wanted to change this man the entire time without really giving him an olive branch, i.e. some head, right? To let him know that she's willing to move a little closer. I'm not about to keep on moving and you not going nowhere. So I think he just has reservations because he's probably trying to decide, like, is this her? Do I need to accept her for exactly who she is? Or do I need to like make a decision based on the life that I really want? Now, maybe he needs to say that out loud, but I think that's what's going on.
LaToya, I totally agree with what you just said, right? But when she called him that Mitch, he should have checked that. She should have never had the courage to say that word to him, period. And as soon as she stepped out, it is a way that a man can talk to a woman and he can correct her behavior without being disrespectful. And in that moment, and when Thomas is not feeling heard by her, he needs to say something to her. Thomas don't say nothing but yeah and okay and shake his head. Nah, open up your mouth like when you being a munch.
Let's remember he's also on TV as well too. Like we gotta acknowledge that.
Trey is gonna go for me. I promise you can reply to him. Go for it, Trey.
I was just gonna say very quickly, this specific conversation is leading to two questions here. Number one, do we think Thomas has the capabilities to be the leader that Camille wants? Number two, does Camille have the qualities to be a follower in this relationship? And the second question to me, at least up to this point, is easier to answer. I don't think Camille has always shown herself to be a very independent woman. Now, I'm going to be very honest when I make this statement. And let me preface this statement first. I'm going here, Easton. Let's do it. We're going carnage. Let's go carnage. I'll open the can. Let's do this. I prefer independent women, but I'm going to tell you for myself, but I'm going to tell you right now, in my experience, independent women they find it very difficult to be followers of any plan. If the man has a superior plan, just by the nature of having independence, it is hard to be a follower. And that goes for men as well. When you are truly independent, you're going to be very difficult for you to follow someone else. Heartbeats, you got to make them louder. Because this is real talk right here. So this leads back to my first two questions. Does Thomas has the capabilities to be the leader that Camille requires? That's up in the air. I'm leaning towards no, but that's up in the air. I'm giving him a chance. The second part, does Camille have the capabilities to be the follower of Thomas's lead or plan or leadership? I don't think so, personally. But this is where this conversation is actually leading to and leading around.
I'm liking where it's going to go for it. So you want to reply? Go for it.
I don't have much to say. It's I haven't said this in a couple months. Not too much on Thomas, okay? Not too much on Thomas. And I want to just clarify with Trey, like I consider myself to be an independent woman by default, right? It's nothing that I chose. It chose me. But like I know how to get in my place when I see a man that's also being a man. But for me, like consistency is like what will make me calm down. Okay. Like there are things that he does that for an independent woman would make them calm down. And she just still firing it up because it's not what she wants. And so he really needs to assess that. That's all.
All righty. I appreciate it. Go for it, Sean. Yeah?
Yeah, I'm with you 100%, Latoya. I also think that Camille is, I'm trying to figure out how to put it in words. She's like a version of a red pill guy that just says fit, feminine, and friendly. You know, like they say that's what they want in their woman. Well, that's what she does as a woman. You know, I want my man to lead me, but she don't really mean that. You know what I'm saying? Because her actions don't match the things that she is asking for. Because she been bossing around Thomas, bugging him, not giving him, no oral gratification. She jumping on his back, stuffing avocados in that man's mouth. She's putting him through all the tests. That's not giving a woman that is looking for a man to lead her. She just wants to just say stuff. You know what I mean? Like and then she's she's sitting up at dinner talking about, well, what if I say no when it gets to decision day and I decide to just, go on my merry own way. I'm just like, come on, Camille. You're really you're grinding my gears. I just need her to just knock it off. All we see Camille doing is complain, 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 complain. Now, can Thomas, be a little, be more assertive? I'm sure he can. However, this woman is just, everything is a problem. He can barely breathe without her saying he needs to do something different, pop some earrings on, put on a gold chain. It's like enough is enough. When is enough? And if you are so concerned about the apartment, why don't you lead in that? Since you're so good at leading, now you want to tell me when it's okay to lead, and you want me to step up to lead because you're tired of, why don't you just get an apartment? It's just, she just aggravates me. I'm sorry. She really does. She aggravates me completely.
I see Camille as smoke and mirrors. I think all that facade she got going on, all of that is fake. I don't see that out of Camille. I see Camille as someone who's putting on for the cameras, who's trying to be someone that she's really not. I see Camille as just like playing a game, yo. I don't think she's that tough. I do think Thomas has it in her. He just needs to step up to the plate. I don't see Camille as like, she's not as tough and strong as she tries to pretend to be. I don't think she's that girl. I think that's all smoke and mirrors.
Glenn, go for it.
Yeah, I think Thomas can lead. To answer Trey's question, I think Thomas can lead. He just needs to know where she wants him to go, right? And I mean, when I say that way, she wants him to go because it's no longer him by himself. It's a we conversation. So they got to start having we conversations. It can't be all about her, and Camille wants to make it all about her, but it's about them now. And so that's where it has to be about. Where do we move on? Where do Thomas and Camille together make this plan? Thomas has to be a little bit vocal. And I wonder how much of this is that Thomas really didn't have a father in his life. I know he was adopted, but he didn't really have anybody to train him up and teach him how to lead. And so he has always been taking second fiddle, backseat to his brother, backseat to everything else. If you look at the relationship, the brother has a little bit more swag than Thomas, right? The brother has a little bit more oomph than Thomas. The brother got married. So even though they're twins, Thomas seemed like the brother was actually the big brother, and was the leader. So now there's some things Thomas missed in relationship wise as he grew up as a man, how to lead in a relationship, how to lead in a marriage is different. Leading in a marriage, because again, if you take it seriously, it's for a lifetime. And there's no perfect way to lead, right? There's some things that you mess up on, you miss out on, but you got to have those tough conversations and tough questions. I agree. I think it was Phil who said it, that Camille has a strong exterior, but she seemed like she's soft on the inside, right? And she puts on that strong exterior, but again, she wants him to lead her, but she's never told him where, right? In what areas? Because again, even though she's independent women, she's not going to want him to take over every aspect of the life. He doesn't want him to lead in every area. There's certain areas that they even have to lead together. There's some areas that he may be better in than her. All right. So they have to figure out what areas she wants Thomas to lead in. And so they can make this thing together and make it work. But she has to communicate. He has to communicate as well. And he has to come out of his shell. And there may be a guy in his life that can help him do that. But I don't think Thomas had anybody that he can look up to that can help him or teach him how to lead in marriage.
Go for Easton.
Another thing that kind of was interesting to me was maybe Camille's upbringing, because everybody's saying she's all bark but no bite, and I agree with that sentiment. But I also think that I think Camille and Thomas's relationship is incredibly relatable, and it's almost it's a good chunk of what people are dealing with out in the market currently. And with Camille and her dad, I felt like her dad raised her as if he wanted boys. Like, maybe if any of the panels ever dated a girl with no brothers, or their dad, or like basically trying to wish they had a son, or trying to live vicariously through their daughters through sports or accolades or whatever it may be. But they basically raised them to be incredibly independent, a little bit rough around the edges, but they end up still being really soft on the inside. And that hard exterior might cause some rocky moments within their relationship. And I think Thomas, with his upbringing, again, like like Glenn was saying, it's like, pack mentality, where there's always in the group of pups with wolves or dogs or anything like that, there's always one that's a little bit more confident, and then there's always ones that have a little less confidence, and so on and so forth. And I think that Thomas lacks that confidence, because, and not only that, but he also I think he wants to date Black women, and so you got to have a little bit of bravado, you got to have a little swag. And Thomas, although he wants this particular type of person, he's dealing with he doesn't necessarily have the skill set to facilitate that or to maintain that. And also he's dealing with somebody who is a little bit rougher around the edges because of her upbringing as well.
Go for it. No, that's a go for it. Okay, cool. I think you guys have stretched the conversation well, and you've given some definite points of thought in this issue, and I'm sure the audience will side with either side, Thomas or Camille, in this situation. I think there's points on both sides that could be considered, so well done, you guys. Okay, we're going to shift it to another couple in a second or two. Just want to just shout out a few people. Shout out to Another Round for giving us 10 gifted memberships. So those of you who are in the chat and you've been gifted, God bless you for being a part of this, but thank you very much, Another Round, for gifting and donating. It's always a pleasure when people do and help others as well. And Roberta Collins, well, shout out to you for becoming a new member. It's good to have you on board, and I can see the chat is pumping. We've got 430 people in the room. Do me a massive favor if you're in the room. Please, if you haven't done so, like the live. If you haven't done so already, like the live, okay? All right? It just helps with the algorithm. It lets YouTube know that we are doing a good job and you're enjoying it. We've got 141 likes so far. So if you're in the room, please like the live, okay? All right? And continue to enjoy the show from here on outwards. All right, let's shift it to another couple. I'm going to be honest with you. I do not even want to talk about Juan and Carla. They're wasting my breath and time. And I don't care to hear what your opinions are on them, because honestly, they're a waste of time. They're not doing anything. I can't lie to you. They're not doing anything apart from coasting and gliding to the end. So shout out to them. Okay, let's do another couple though. We have obviously David and Michelle, which is where it's going to be, I guess, some overlap, because David and Michelle is going to overlap with Alan and Maddison. So this is probably going to be the biggest part of our conversation in terms of today, because they take quite a time up as well. So I want to get your thoughts. David plus Michelle. The warfare has kicked off. Okay, and David decided to lie once more again. Okay, David lied again once more, and we got Michelle obviously telling the whole crew that he was lying and that he only came clean because of such and such. So I want to get your thoughts on this David and Michelle situation. How are you guys seeing this? What side are you falling on? Are you siding with David? Are you siding with Michelle? I want to know your reasons for and why you're siding with that particular person. Maybe you're neutral, I don't know, but I would love to hear your perspectives on this situation as well when it concerns David and Michelle. Who would like to take the bull by the horns and kick this one off first? Well, since Latoya, your camera's shaking, you can go first.
If this was court, I would dismiss this case in general, because although I lean more towards David's side, Michelle, stop acting like David ever had a chance with you. Again, just like Sean can't forget about his house or the basement, I can't forget that she had this man sleeping on a lawn chair on the first honeymoon night. I can't forget it. And she has done nothing to exhibit that she is moving closer towards him. And then even if that were true, which that's a bad lie, you have disrespected him to no end. You have mistreated him, degraded him. So why should he ever think that there is a chance with you? And why are you trying to save face by acting like he ever had a chance with you? That's wild to me. And so, yeah, he's a bad liar. Yes, we all know the second lie was bad, but he's just over her. Obviously, you know what I'm saying? he's seen Maddison's ecstasy face. And so, you know, once that happens, you're done. Like it's like she's nothing anymore. And I'm not saying that he should have done that, but for her to act like he ever had a chance with her is absolutely insanity. And I wish that he called her out on that the couple times now that she has said that in front of the experts. I would have been like, tell me how, when, where, why, how. Like, but he did not do that. So I'm just like, y'all are not capitalizing off of the BS. Like, if you're going to carry some energy, carry the same energy that Michelle is carrying for trying to get him caught up, for also calling her out as well on the BS too. So this case dismissed. Both of y'all just get out of my face.
I hear it. He wants to take up the mantle. It's a very heavy hammer. He wants to take up the mantle. You know what? Go for it, Traden.
You know, it was watching this particular couple that I'm sitting home today and I threw my hands up like, you gotta be effing kidding me. Like, what? No, stop it. The lies on both sides was just getting to be bad. Because here's the thing. These two specifically, I cannot help but see production's hands all and through this particular relationship. Because I can guarantee you they had an offline conversation with the both of them separately. Hey, we understand this is not going to work, blah, 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 but we need you to drag this out to decision day. We know this conversation was had. Because there was at 2 or 3 separate times where both asked each other, well, wait a minute, David kind of started until Michelle cut him off. Well, you didn't want me, you didn't want to be in this, so why are you here? And then Michelle flipped back on him, but why did you stay? After she lied and said, oh, I'm here to make it work. No, you're not. You're here to save face by this point because you've been looking bad for weeks at a time. Now this is a chance to put the shoe underfoot and make him look bad to save some grace or save some face for yourself. This is the only reason why, because she was too gung-ho and too emotional, fake emotions at that, about all of this. You don't care about this man. So why is this bothering you? Unless you really care that your so-called homegirl lied to your face. I can see that. You know, that's somewhat understandable. But David, you don't care. We know you don't care. So why are you lying to us, trying to convince us that you're in this for the marriage, or I'm here just to make it work? And then David ain't no better because he followed up with the same thing. Now, the only thing is I can believe half of it because in the beginning, I do think he tried. Or at least he was more open than she was. That's the only thing I give him. But once that door was closed, he knew what it was. It was just here, so I can't get fined, and he's moving accordingly. So it's to the point, I'm like, throw both of these couples away. Get them out of here. Why? Why are you wasting my time watching this and putting this on television? Like, this is a waste of time.
Jay be kidding me. All right. I hear this. Yes, unpopular opinion. Phil, go for it.
I'm with LaToya. I'm neutral on both of them. But I got to give Michelle credit where credit is due. She used them Karen tactics on David, and they worked. She had my man up against the rope. She was hitting him with it. And then the part where David really lost it is that she gave you an out, and David should have took the out. You know it's not working. And then you trying to gaslight her because you are cheating and you doing dirt out here. But she gave you an out. You should have been like, thank you. I don't want to be married to you when she gave him that out. But he kept it going. So, David, you know, you being fake, Michelle is being fake because Michelle is only mad because she saw her image turning into the new Alyssa. Michelle used her brain. and David gave her out by cheating with Maddison. But man, David, you lost when you didn't take that out. When she said, "Do you want this?" and you said, "Yeah, I want to try to make it work." Nah, you should have said, "Nah, I'm good on you. I'm done," and kept it moving. So they're both liars. They both gaslight and manipulate the situation. But David, yo, that was whack. You should have took your out.
Real. I'll go. Okay. I would be 100% with you, Phil, but I think he was trying to protect Maddison with his out, because regardless of what he does or what he says, and which is why he continues to lie about the whole Tiffany and this, that, and the third, is that he's trying to cape and cover for Maddison, which is the only reason why I believe he doesn't go ahead and be like, "Hey, I ain't really feeling you. I actually am feeling Maddison." But I'm channeling my inner Seaway, and he is who we thought he was. He is a basement dwelling gnome. He has been lying this entire time about his finances, about the state of his basement. It doesn't even have any windows. So I don't really know how much of a basement apartment it is, because don't you need really, to be an apartment, don't you really need some windows, like at least one? He's been lying this entire time. And I don't care for Michelle. Don't care about her. I don't have any sympathy because you was mean. But I have a strong inclination, and with Seaway channeling through me, that he was lying this entire time. He has been the F boy in most of his career. And again, not to offend any of the bar people or, hospitality people out there, but, some of the bar owners be a little, I can't trust them. I can't put all my, you can't trust them all. And that man's whole basement was full of his old furniture from the bar, from the club. So I don't put too much stock into David. David was trying to keep his image. I do think that Michelle did him extremely dirty in the beginning, and she saw that her image was about to be tarnished, and she's trying to use the Karen Tears victim tactics to kind of reverse it. We still don't care about you, Michelle. Hey, it is what it is. You got what you wanted. You wanted a light-skinned dude, and David got what he wanted. But the problem is with David, I think that he's been operating as if he was this nice guy and lovable guy. And I think that he's the life of the party, but I also think that he's been the F-boy this entire time. And he probably was talking to other people as soon as they got home, or as soon as he wasn't getting his needs met intimately. But I am holding him accountable, and I'm holding Michelle accountable as well, because she's insufferable, and she will continue to be alone. And likewise, he will continue to be alone. So both of them are terrible. But David, I think he's been lying this entire time. And I apologize for being disgruntled with Seaway, because she was right in my opinion now. I see the light on David. I was arguing with Sean.
I don't know what.
Alan, what's going on? Seaway paid you
24 hours.
No, I was arguing with Sean about the basement. I was giving him so many outs. I was like, "Oh well, he's saving for a home. Oh no, the basement apartments. He got his own door, but his parents can get to it." I was caping for this man. I was like, every single time he's been lying to us, and so now I have to hold his feet to the fire, brother. I can't defend you anymore.
Okay, Easton, I just need you to I just wanted to see, is anyone behind you? Just want to make sure, because maybe she got a Glock to your back or something. I don't know, because boy, I don't know who you are anymore. I don't know who you are.
Nah,
anyway, Glenn, go.
Basketball game.
Glenn, go for it.
Nah, but I agree with everybody else, man. They're both equally as wrong. David being gaslighting everybody from the get-go. I think the first day he tried, but after she started gaslighting him, he was done. I think he was done ever since him and Maddison worked out the first time in the gym, and he was sharing all his feelings with her. I think he was done there. Michelle been done, and she's never done anything to make this relationship work. As she lied to everybody else, my wall started coming down. Really? No, your walls never came down. Your wall's been up and stayed up from the get-go. When you found out this man lived in the basement, your walls was up. And she got her out, right? She got her out. He messed up, right? He could have saved face throughout this whole show, and everybody would have been on the David train with support. But when he cheated, excuse me, when he cheated, that was it. She got her out. She got the way. She got an aha moment. The moment I can use to play out for the next 19, 15, whatever days left. This is what I'm going to ride. I'm going to ride this one until the cows come home. And on decision day, I can say I don't like to be with cheaters. And I don't want to be with a cheater because my parents were cheated on and my dad cheated on my mom. And that, I'm sorry, this is not the first time she's been cheated on, right? This can't be the first time she's been cheated on, but she's taking this moment and she's running with it. David, we all know he's a terrible liar, right? There's so many lies that he could have said that would have made sense. Even with this lie, he still lied again. Just say, you know what? I'm liking somebody else. Like, I don't know anybody who talks to somebody or likes somebody for about a week or two, and you see a picture of them on the phone, but you don't hit the reply button, right? The reply button is right there. All right. So again, to them, both there are, look, this is a train wreck. We all know what it is. Shouldn't be, it's just done. Both of them are equally wrong. Both need to let it go. David is doing a lot. He really loves Maddison because he's protecting her to a T. I mean, he's making sure no one says anything bad. He's making sure that she doesn't get implicated in none of this stuff. But he's not there. She's not there. Checked out a long time ago. Can't be on David's side and can't be on Michelle's side. They are both wrong in this situation for her gaslighting and for him lying. So it's bad. Either way.
The funny thing is, if David really wanted to protect Maddison, which I agree with everyone saying he's trying to protect her, if he really wanted to protect her, he would have just left. By him being there, it's doing nothing but drawing more attention to it. Because whenever he speaks up, you can just sense the lie right off his face. He, like Maddison, we know she's lying, but she's lying real good. Like, ooh. Because she using her Karen tears against Michelle Karen tears. They cancel out each other. David, on the other hand, he's not good at it. You tell he's not accustomed to lying, which in most cases that could be a good thing. But in this case, bro, if he would have left, I guarantee you that there wouldn't have been as much smoke as it is now by him being there. Because he is the weakest link so far in this whole thing.
Well, he couldn't leave because he told everybody he was trying. And that was the thing. He told the whole group he was trying. So if he all of a sudden pop up and leave out of nowhere, then it destroys his TV character, right? Because he's trying to put on a TV character. His TV character was that he was the good guy. It's a TV character. He was a nice guy. It was working, right? Because he even had Michelle saying he was the good guy. He had everybody say, he's a good guy. Everybody loved David until this situation right here. And she was believing he was a good guy. Oh, he's nice. He's good. He just lives in a basement. He smokes. He drinks. He curses, right? So that's where he couldn't just hop up and leave because the whole image he was trying to create for TV would have been destroyed.
Papa Sean, we haven't heard from you.
Well, since EASTON did his 180, I don't know how much I have to say about Michelle and David because he stole all my talking points. So, yeah, I mean, I think me, I'm gonna leverage an opportunity to talk about character. And as much as I can understand that Michelle was rejecting David very early on in their process, how early on really was it? I happen to think he's been carrying on this emotional / whatever kind of affair they got going on with Maddison for quite some time. So I'm definitely not going to subscribe to the notion that David is some long-suffering husband that's being rejected by his wife. Meanwhile, it took 2 weeks before he jumped into somebody else's DMs, text messages, dating apps to get attention. I really think that he is ill-prepared to be somebody's husband. He shouldn't be on MAFS at all. I do think that Michelle shouldn't have come to MAFS either because part of the process is working through and embracing somebody that was chosen for you, that's a stranger. And she definitely was nowhere near ready to do that. And I think she has to get past this idea that somebody has to be exactly what you want them to be just to give them a chance. She did not give him a chance. However, she has been fairly honest with him about how she feels, and he is not. And I think that is highly problematic, because somebody that can't be honest about how they feel and then runs to the arms of somebody else is somebody that is problematic and not ready for any level of serious commitment. You know, and there's going to run up and tell her rejecting him and her honesty is sexy. That, yeah, somebody that can try to throw a lie out there, he got some stuff he got to work through. And I think Michelle is very well aware at the least of how bad she's been looking and how badly she's been treating him. So I think this is just yet an opportunity for her to kind of have some redemption and not have it all on her, the failure of their marriage. So my 2 cents.
Definitely hear it. Any other thoughts on David and Michelle?
Yeah, I got a question for you guys. Why do you think David never stepped up in the first place, right? Why do you think David never really told Michelle how he was feeling in the first place? Because everything he always said, it was good, it's all right, it's fine. Now he get caught up. You want to share the fact that you didn't like this, but as we mentioned earlier, you guys mentioned, she always gave him an out, but he never took the out. Even he never said, you know what, you treat me like this, you treat me like this, you treat me like this. Why was he holding on to that?
Well, I can answer very quickly. David, technically, this was the first time David was actually offered the out. When this came up in that first meeting, when they got back from the honeymoon with Pastor Kyle, when all of this was brought up, if you notice, it was leading to them. Actually, the out was almost offered to Maddison, where if you don't want him, why are you still here? The experts, as far as the show is concerned, is the one who shut that down, because this is a TV show. They got to have the couples, whatever, for filming and stuff. They kind of shut that down and made them stay in this marriage of, hey, we're going to try and make it work. So this is the first time an out was actually offered. The only problem is, should David have taken it? Probably so. I probably would have took it. Was he going to take it? Probably not, because of their obligations, whatnot, whatever. But that's pretty much it.
Why didn't he take it out? Yes, that's a good question. Why didn't he? Yeah, go for it. Yes, Easton.
He to speak, but I'll make this brief. I think it keeps up with his entire facade. With David, I believe that the show was a come up for him. And I think that for him to keep his facade, his whole image together, he had to come across as like the dog with his tail between his legs, kind of like, I'm just trying to find somebody to love me. And Michelle was the perfect person to be benevolent and to be, snarky and nasty and insufferable. But for him to have the impact that he might have wanted, and for him to be valuable, I guess, for the show, he needed to be the guy who was getting stepped over, because I believe a lot of his actions were that of an F-boy. Like, I think he didn't care, because he was like, well, shoot, I can just go on Hinge or Tinder and I can find somebody to match with, or somebody who is dating somebody else, or I can go out to coffee with them. Like, I think that this was stuff that he's used to doing on a normal basis, but for the show, he had to come across as like, I just love Michelle and she just don't love me. And now I'm starting to realize, like, maybe all this stuff was a lie. Even the stories that he was telling, how close his family was with him, because obviously his cousin Denise, sold that boy for nothing. So the family can't be that close.
I'm hearing it. All right, I'm hearing it. Okay, Phil, you wanted to say something? Go for it.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I don't think he was trying to protect Maddison, because he already knew Maddison was going to say no anyway. So there was no need for protection for Maddison. I'm kind of with Trey. Production told them like they need to stay, they have to stay or something. But there was definitely no need to protect Maddison, because he already knows she's saying no to Alan, and he's getting a no from Michelle if he don't say no. So what's the protection there? And I just wanted to bring something back last week when y'all were discussing who do we think put the moves on who. And we were trying to make it seem like David was like this total villain and Maddison was like this little lamb. Nah. They both trash. It's an equal opportunity. They're both trash. They both super whack. But I think with David, he's a manipulator. I ain't gonna say Seaway was right, EASTON, but David is a manipulator. I think he's a manipulator, and he's definitely a bad liar. He's not quick on his feet at all. But he should have took the out. She gave him an out. He should have took it.
I'm hearing these points. Okay. Let's go. You want to say something? Go for it. You scratch your face. Go for it.
Very simple. I think he got careless once he got top from Maddison. Like he getting what he want behind the scenes, so he don't care. Let's just be honest, y'all. He don't care. He getting his, and he topping her off. They good. So we just gonna ride this out, and over time they've just gotten more careless. That's it. That's all.
Well, I do want to say justice for Carla. Unfortunately, Kojo, you snubbed her so hard, but Carla was telling truth on the after party, calling out Michelle, telling her how hard it was to watch their scenes, got Michelle feeling real uncomfortable up there with on that after party chair. So, my Carla is adding value. She's calling people out. She is intuitive. And whilst Juan sits up here, plays around in his poncho and his porn stash, playing games.
I would also like to interject and say that Michelle is the one who's married to David. Or is it? Yeah. Right? Okay. Michelle loves to throw it back because on the after show, she's like, well, are you over here cheating on Juan because y'all not, making it work? She loved to throw that back. But honey, it don't matter. They could be doing anything else, but they ain't trying to be together. Like she deflects in that way. And that is her not taking accountability for how she added to this dysfunction as well. And I don't like that about her.
All right. So obviously, then talking about obviously David Michelle, there's obviously the other side, it's Maddison and Alan. She on the other side, just like David, is also telling some lies. Okay, our boy Alan here has been, unfairly deceived. By the efforts of Maddison, you know what I'm saying to you, but his dreams are telling him something else, you know what I'm saying to you, that Holy Spirit gonna get you every time. Want to get you guys' thoughts on Maddison and Alan. What's your perspective? How do you see that situation? Is it Alan's fault that Maddison is doing this? Is it, is Maddison just the wicked witch of the west of Endor? Who seduced who? Did Maddison seduce David? Did David seduce Maddison? What's your guys' thoughts on Maddison and Alan's situation? Mm-hmm.
Can I go first?
Go for it.
Okay, who y'all want me to go in on first? Maddison or Alan? Because they both getting whacked tonight. I'm going to go with Alan. Alan, big dog, what is your style being white, trailer trash, and James Bond? That don't even go together, bro. You sound crazy. And throw that hat in the garbage, yo. I was about to give the panel smoke for bringing up them broccoli draws, but that red hat was trash. Total trash. Your style should not be white. Sorry, not white trash, but trailer trash and James Bond. That don't make no type of sense, bro. Like, don't say that ever again, Alan. Never say that again in your life. Maddison. You coming in at 4 in the morning, 1:30 in the morning. It's outrageous. She's totally lying. Nobody who goes to the gym like Maddison is eating tacos that late at night every night. Total lie. 2, when they got to the house and my man said we can take a bath and she hollered out quickly with her bathing suits on, yo, I died. I said, he can't even see a nipple. Come on. Yo, Maddison is awful. And then you sitting at the table. Somebody has to explain to me the table scene. Why did Maddison get so upset and storm off if it was between David and Michelle? What are we doing? What are we doing? Maddison is super whack. The fact that you out here trying to get this man a stylist like you be dressed to impress? What are we doing? Come on. I cannot take Maddison. Too much dip on the chip, yo. She is wilding. And Alan, like Kojo said, the Holy Spirit is talking to you, my brother. The Holy Spirit is telling you something, and you need to listen to it. And I'm surprised that everyone can see Maddison and David but Alan, or am I confused on something? How come everybody else can see it but him? But yeah, man, that Maddison is whack, yo. And then when he called her a lady of the night last week on that episode, he was absolutely correct. Because ain't nothing open in Chicago that late but legs and opportunity. And Maxwell's. And she said she ain't even going to Maxwell's. So she definitely lying. Yo, get her off the screen. She is equally as responsible for this fiasco as David. She does not get to use them Karen tears to get out of this. She's just as much garbage as David is. That's all for me for now.
One thing Phil gonna do, Phil gonna definitely tear someone's singlet off. Just to say, you know, I appreciate Phil's takes. The white trash comment was a little bit wild, brother. Just in future, please, let's chill.
Oh no, I thought he said white trash. I'm sorry, he was saying trailer trash. I wasn't trying to call him white trash. I'm trying to say trailer trash. Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. Look, we all here. We make mistakes. It's okay. It's no problem at all. You know what I'm saying to you. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Phil. Who's next?
I take it next, man.
Go for it.
The problem is we blame Maddison, but I also blame Alan a lot too, right? This dude knows this woman does not like him. She does not want to do anything with him. Everything we've seen has been all Maddison, what she likes. Never really, except for the fact that he went fishing, right? This dude is buying new teeth, Invisalign to impress a woman that he does not like, that does not like him. He's going to be with a stylist, being styled by a woman who does not like him, by a woman who comes home at 1:30, 2:30, 3:30 at night, to a woman who your first day back, right, off your honeymoon, she goes, hangs out at the club with her friends. Yo, her friends ain't telling her to go home, right? And as y'all said, the Holy Spirit is telling him that something's going on. He ain't listening. He's sleeping on the couch, right? He ain't listening. Every time he would get up, those would be conversations he should have when she get home in the morning, when they wake up in the morning, like, hey, what time did you come in? Where you? He hasn't bucked up yet. Y'all talking about Thomas being passive aggressive and not saying anything? He's not saying anything. Hey, what you doing 3 o'clock in the morning? And Maddison's a trooper. She goes at 3 o'clock in the morning, come home at 3 o'clock, and still hits the gym by 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning to go see David, right? She's a trooper. It don't even let 3 hour spread, right? She goes see him at 3 o'clock. They wake up in the morning. They go to the gym. They hang out, right? It is a terrible thing. I hurt for Alan a little bit, not in that sense, but he needs to open his eyes up and see, hey, this girl don't like you, and you're doing everything to try to please her, and it still ain't working. You still cooking the meals. You still you're changing your gear up. You're fixing your teeth, right? And guess what? Even when it's all said and done, Maddison probably be on a show somewhere saying, you know what? I'll help Alan change. Because if it wasn't for me, Alan wouldn't have changed. His gear wouldn't be this way. His teeth wouldn't be this way. So she at the point now, he's at the point now where he just need to let it go. And everybody sees it, but nobody's telling him though, right? Nobody's saying anything to Alan. Everybody sees what's going on, but nobody's giving Alan no clues, right? Even Michelle, not until I guess next week, Michelle brings up to Alan. but Maddison knows what she's doing. She's covering up very well. Maddison is the best liar on the show, if anybody asks me, because she covers her lies real well. And she covered it up. Even when she's talking to Dr. P, when she was talking about, oh, he never told me about his nightmares before. He just told you about his dream a couple of weeks ago when I was in the gym, right? She doesn't listen to Alan. She doesn't care about Alan. All she heard was that she was a party girl, which you are. And it doesn't work, right? And this is again, we all know it's a train wreck, but Alan needs to wake up and Alan needs to stand up and Alan needs to be vocal. But he allows this to continue to happen day to day, right? I wonder if he understands, even to the point where it's a red flag, he sees that she treats David better than him, and he still doesn't say anything to her. And every time he does, she tries to change the subject. Like, anytime you can say, oh, man, when you hug David more than you hug me, that's a red flag. And you ain't going to say nothing, bro? I'm just saying. So as much Alan as much as it is Maddison.
Yeah, and every episode we get a new name of a new woman, and now it's Tiffany, so Maddison's new name is Tiffany, I guess. Maybe that's her middle name, because I remember there was a time some years ago, many moons, I was dating a woman that I shouldn't have been dating, so I had to put her name in my phone as a different name. So her name was one thing, but her name showed up as something else in my phone in case anybody saw that phone. If she texts me, somebody happened to look at my screen. So David done changed Maddison's name to Tiffany. And that's what I think. Her name is Tiffany. And she's tipping in these doors at 3 o'clock. Tiffany's coming in real late at, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. I think she is the ultimate gaslighter. Every time Alan does a little something, at the end of the day, she gonna flip it around and flip the script on to Alan. He's having premonitions about her marrying somebody else in his dreams. His dream state is telling him that she's cheating. And meanwhile, she has that dumb look on her face, when she gets confronted. Alan is about to change his whole life around this woman. So he's going to bend himself into a pretzel just to be the apple of her eye. Now, the one good thing Maddison did was give that man a makeover, because those clothes, now, Michelle, maybe what Maddison really does need to give Michelle some advice, because that place, all of them outfits that Alan picked up, I would have rocked each and every one of them outfits. That brown leather jacket with the pants and the shirt, that was smooth. The white jeans and the denim shirt, crisp. Everything was clean. One thing Maddison did is help him get ready. Then old boy went and got himself some Invisalign. And Maddison / Tiffany gonna hit him with the do it for you. If Alan don't wake up and smell coffee, she hates you. She hates you. Because how he's like, oh, how he was feeling good about himself. I did this. I felt like this. She said, you should be doing that for you. Don't worry about fixing your teeth for me. Fix it for you. He tried to clean it up. She was like, and then she told him, she was like, has anybody ever liked your teeth before? And I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but ultimately she told that brother, any other woman you've been with liked your teeth? Alan over here making up stories. Yeah, I got a lot of compliments on my teeth. Now, bro, cut the crap. Cut the crap. Just be quiet. Take your L in peace. When you have your Invisalign, your nice cleaned up teeth, your new outfits, you'll be better off for the next woman you encounter.
That's funny. Go for it, Trey.
Alan, I said this in the beginning of the season. Alan was my favorite contestant because I thought he just generally was the best person, the way he came off. I still stand by that, but we are now getting to the point where you trying to be the best can be a detriment to yourself. Allen is now crossing. Actually, he been crossed it. I was trying to give him some grace, but he's crossing into the realm of being a super simp. Like, bro, you haven't listen. Women have intuition. We have nightmares. This man is having nightmares of Maddison stepping out on him. His subconscious is trying to tell him, "Hey, bro, this is not your woman. Why are you putting so much effort into something that doesn't want you and don't belong to you, bro?" And I know Shy made a joke out of it, but man, that thing really bought that comment she made. Do this for you. Oh my God. I said, oh, bro, Alan, bro, she just dissed the heck out of you. You ain't even see it. Come on, bro. Like, and Sean, you're right. All those outfits he was rocking, he looked good in it. I would have rocked everyone. I was like, okay, gave me some ideas. I got some of them in my closet. I was like, ooh. I'm gonna put that combination together. I like this. All right, Maddison, I give you this. You know some people that know some people that have some style. I give you that. You know, because yes, every last outfit, yes, keep it, Alan. But the thing that bothered me the most, oh man, I was thinking to myself the whole time, you know, Alan, please don't say anything. Please don't make it seem like you're doing this for her, even though I know you're doing this for her. And then she hit us with. He actually hit it with, hey, yeah, I'll do this for you. I said, oh, God. And then she hit us with no, I do this for yourself. I said, ooh, this really hurt. It hurt me. I felt hurt. Like, bro, he is doing things that will improve his life just in the overall factor. You know, it will up his stock. It'll be so different if he was generally wanting to do these things for himself. It's just so happened a woman recommended it versus he is literally doing these things for a woman that doesn't want him. And the sad part is he actually knows it, but doesn't want to face it. He knows it. He feels it. He can feel this overriding the thing. She's not home. She's staying out 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. She ain't come out. They literally showed that video of her sneaking in, tiptoeing past the couch. She tiptoed. Like, okay, nah. That was the guiltiest tiptoe I ever seen in my life. She was like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And then he gonna do the fake wake up. And then she walk in the room, he gonna go back to sleep, start snoring. Bro, oh my God. Not so you catch a tiptoeing and you say nothing. I'm full transparency. It's a story that I'm not gonna tell because you know we ain't got all this time. But a woman tried that on me once. I set up, said, "Where the hell you think you going?" She tried to sneak out without saying something. Get a phone call at 2 o'clock in the morning. And then you go sneak into the closet, put her clothes on, and try to sneak out. I watched her do it. Oh, okay, you ain't gonna say nothing. She walked right out, try to go to the front door. I said, "Where the hell you think you going?" Scared the shit out of her. Nah, come back over here. We gotta talk about this. Where you going? Nah. He going down bad. It's almost getting to the Maddison point where Alan, I can't care no more. Because you know, you just don't want to face it. So that's when you blow up, it's going to be like, bro, I understand your upsetness, but why are you so upset? You knew this issue was coming. You knew it.
You go, Latoya.
I'll just add that, you know, honestly, I didn't even think about this when I was watching the show, but just even listening to this now, it's like I'm quite triggered because I had my own gaslighting situation in the streets of Kenya a few years ago. And you know, I just had to like have a standard and ask some questions. And I was being told to don't ask me no questions. Don't ask me when I'm coming inside the house. And to the point where I had to get doors locked so you can't come back in. See, this is what he needs to do. Make it so that when she leaves, she can't come back in. You know, and so I wish that he just had a standard about himself, to really just call her out on her behavior, and then to stop gaslighting, aka wheeling him back in when she's not really showing him really basic respect. And so I really just don't like that he's getting majorly played. But I also think, like, again, like they said earlier, this is probably one of the most attractive women he's ever dated. And so he still has hope. And like I keep telling people, like, hope is not a method. It's not a method. It will not work. And so she is going to be dedicated to gaslighting him because she knows that he is, for lack of better words, a simp. And so you got to show people better than you can tell them that you don't get to play over here today. And this is also you going back to Camille and Thomas. That's what you stand on business about what it is and how you expect to be treated. And you don't have to come back if you want to keep leaving. So I really hate this, but yeah, I got to be honest. The clothes, everything was fresh. The Invisalign, like I can't wait to see what his teeth looking like at the reunion. And like I said last week, and I'm gonna stand on it. I do not think David and Maddison will work out long term. In fact, I think that she's going to could possibly get played by David in the same manner in which he's playing Michelle. And so I can't wait to see it happen. But as far as Alan, I feel really bad for him because I do think that he is going to, well, he probably already had his moment off screen when they ended up the recording. But I think quite possibly it's probably been a year. He's probably moved forward and, you know, it's probably working out for him. But I feel so bad for a guy like him. But you can't be that nice and then be a pushover. So he needs to yield somewhere. But yeah, Maddison is trash. Yeah.
Kojo, do you have a clip of them outfits? I think I see that at the bottom. We got to show them outfits.
I mean, this is the first time I've seen him in a couple of days.
I'll find one behind the scenes. You guys talking, I'll find it for you.
Yo, I agree with Latoya. He needs to go Jose. I thought it was that season, the Houston season, when Jose locked his girl out and she was outside and couldn't get in contact with nobody. Rachel, yeah, locked Rachel out. Yo, he needs the locks. He needs to put the locks on the doors, or like Trey said, when she come in, where you going? Where you been? As soon as you walk, sit up and stay up. So when she walk in the house, the question that happens at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and those type of friends. Or, hey, by the way, you were with your friend Amber, I think her name was, or Amanda. Hey, let me call Amanda. He needs to be making some phone calls himself to see if she was out with who she says she was out with. Just double checking, and see if her friends will vouch for her. All right, because Amanda may not vouch for you because you wasn't out with her. She may have a man too. So it's just those situations where Alan may need to stand up and check, see what's going on.
Nah, he need to drop her. I ain't doing all that. We ain't about to play these games. I ain't got no real. This marriage can be over in 8 weeks, like they said. He ain't got to be chasing her behind her, but he is being a simp. My man told her I would give my big toe for this relationship. I said, what? Yeah, I don't want to give up on Alan, but he is giving simp of the year, Trey.
Yeah.
That's simp of the year. But nah, he shouldn't be chasing around her, staying up, sleeping on the couch, and she ain't even bring you nothing to eat. Oh man, that would have caused the fight right there for me. Where the tacos at? You ain't think about bringing me no taco? You walking up in here late at night, I can't get no burrito? No bowl? Yo, nah.
Yo, hold on. Why was he on the couch? Why was he on the couch?
He was trying to stay up for her.
Wake up and see her.
Yeah, he was trying to stay up for her.
He was
Then
concerned.
you should have stayed up. That's why the whole thing didn't make no sense.
Sometimes sleep takes over, and Alan had a few drinks. Oh, there go them outfits. I bet you he gonna pull Michelle with one of them outfits.
Why?
I saw that before.
We missing all
That's
the
gonna be
points.
the plot twist. He gonna pull Michelle with them outfits.
This ain't love don't cost a thing, Sean. This is so sad. Like this is basically love don't cost a thing. To start this thing off, Michelle, she is a lady of the night, Jezebel. All that.
Madison.
Madison is, my apologies, they synonymous, but in my opinion, she is extremely harmful. And I did say yesterday that I do have a little bit of grace because I do believe when these type of moments happen in reality shows, the women always get the worst end of the stick when it comes to cheating or infidelity. And David gets to be kind of like incognito, but he's still getting held accountable. So I do understand that Maddison is trash. I don't like how she treats the guy. I don't like how she's handling Alan at all. But we have to be very, very, very clear. This is all because of Alan's demise, like all orchestrated by Alan. And I know the chat loves Alan, and I know that people love Alan and think that he's the best thing since Wonder Bread, but he's using nice guy game. Like, let's be completely real. The dude is 35. He has all the capabilities and resources to be an amazing person, like be an amazing partner. He has a Jaguar. He has a nice bomber jacket. He has a dog. He has all these different things that from on the outside. He has a job. He has a career. He has more than the guy that he ends up getting his girl taken by. Like, he has more than David has, but he uses nice guy game, and he does it terribly every single time. And so, in my opinion, we have to be very, very mindful of that. And I hope that the chat can realize that, or maybe take some gems out of this, because what Alan does is he's doing all of these things because he wants an expected result from Maddison, or in his past, probably from a significant other that he was, courting, or he was somebody he was interested in. He will go above and beyond. He will go to the gym. He will get his teeth fixed. He will change up his wardrobe. He will work out, do all these different things because he is expecting something at the end of the day. And now next episode, y'all gonna see that boy flip out, because a lot of these guys on the show or on this season are using nice guy game or good guy game, and it's sometimes a different variation. David does it through like being a nice guy he's an F boy, but he uses a nice guy overtone to like mask it. Thomas is a little bit passive nice guy, but he's gonna turn up on Camille. And so, in my opinion, what we do with Alan is doing all of these things because he wants a result of being with Maddison. He wants the admiration of Maddison, and I have to hold him accountable of that. You knew that you was everything that he did, even when he was defending EMEM. I think it was because he was trying to get the admiration and come across as a tough guy for Maddison. It wasn't just because he was doing things because he was like, I'm trying to be, granted, he did do a good thing because Ikechi was out of pocket, but I think he was doing stuff because he was trying to get that love from her. Even more so, and I'll land the plane. He's saying he has dreams and all this other stuff. No, he knows, but he's not. I will say not a man enough, or he wasn't confident enough to go ahead and hold her accountable of that. And then you saw when David told him to pipe down, he piped down. He's a nice guy, and he uses that game over and over again, and it gets sympathy. But in reality, it doesn't work, because if it did, he wouldn't be on the show. But he does these things, and eventually he blows up because he doesn't get the result that he wants, and which is why he calls her transactional, and all these things may be true. But what a nice guy does when he doesn't get what he wants, he's gonna flip, and y'all gonna see it on the next episode. That boy gonna flip.
Easton, you're back. Welcome. But wrong road, dog. Wrong road. Victim blaming. Now I'm C-Way. Now you're victim blaming. Yo. Nah, man. I'm sorry. I do think he is a nice guy, and it could be an act. But unlike David, we don't have the evidence that he has been an F-boy. That's the difference. So if he is putting on an act and he's putting on this facade to get this girl to like him, if he hasn't did her wrong, then hey, all's fair in love and war. I have to question because of Maddison's lies is does Alan act differently when he drinks? Or are you just trying to put on this facade for us to try to make him seem like this bad guy? I trust nothing Maddison has told us about this relationship. But Easton, we can't wrong road. The man is trying to woo this woman, his wife, into liking him. Now, Easton, I wanted you back, but dog, damn, that was harsh.
Phil, my only pushback to that is I look at your fruits, and if this is somebody who I think authentically is a nice and good person, this wouldn't be I don't think it would be a tough opportunity for Alan to find somebody outside of this experiment. The problem is that if you listen to what he's going through, this is something that's been revolving. Like, he's been the nice guy, he's done these things, and it hasn't resulted in what he wanted as a fruitful relationship. I wholeheartedly believe that he does things to garner the love from Maddison or get a desired result. But you're going to see, I think you saw a little bit of it when he, again, called her transactional. Not saying that it wasn't deserved, but I think that for me, he's doing these things because he wants to control the circumstances. And when he doesn't, he's going to blow up.
Well, I think the one thing is when people have blow-ups and things like that, we have to question the why. What happened and what led up to this point? You gaslighting me and you manipulating me, and I'm up here I'm being a simp, right? Because that's the problem. Now he's turning into a crash out, as the children say. So now he's about to crash out because he's now seeing that this woman has been playing me. And not only are you playing me with a man in my face. That's another level of disrespect. So when people, have these crash out moments or whatever, we got to start looking at why they crashed out. It wasn't like you just made a mistake. You went disrespectful. You went to the extreme. And so I do think what Alan is doing, he's trying to get a woman to like him. He's doing these nice things to get a woman to like him. That's what we want him to do. We don't want him being a simp. Now, let's not get that twisted like he's being, but we do want him to put forth an effort. And that's what he's done. And now we can't put the onus on him for somebody else's wrongdoings. Now, I'm all for the carnage, but now that's a little too far for me, Easton. You're back though, brother. Welcome.
No, Phil, LaToya. Now, look, he had plenty of opportunities to go ahead and check her. He said he had a feeling. He asked Maddison earlier episodes, was something going on. Like, he had opportunities to go ahead and check and do what he needed to do, but he didn't. And he had these opportunities. And what did the nice guys, the people who use nice guy game is the same as people who use like therapy buzzwords. You're trying to create a safe atmosphere, and you can do it a couple of different ways. You can relate to somebody, or you can be, I'm real nice, I'm not a threat. And that's what Alan is doing. And he had a chance to hold Maddison accountable with what's she doing. Like, bro, 3 nights of her going out till 3 a.m. and you ain't gonna check her on night. Okay, night 1, maybe you gotta be with your homegirls. Night 2, you ain't gonna check her like, hey, something's going on with this. Like, oh no, I just don't. I feel like he's really laying it on thick in terms of the nice guy role, and I think that's why his dating has been lackluster thus far, because he hasn't been able to operate in his truth.
But
okay, one thing, y'all. Easton, I'm gonna push back on you a little bit. The last time I was on the panel, you and Seaway got into an argument about being a nice guy and nice guys being picked on and this. Now you turning against the nice guy? What is happening right now? you and C-Way had a little back and forth about the nice guys and how the girls was wanting all of this expensive stuff, and you know the nice guys was finishing last, and now you going in on the nice guy. Easton, what's happening?
There, other people got to talk, but I'll say this: I'm starting to realize a little bit how, again, in the panel and the chat and everybody, they hold me accountable, and so there's a little bit of growth mindset where I do understand that us as guys, we will use different methodology to get our desired result. Some people are more forceful. Some people take a little softer approach, like Alan, who's a nice guy. The results of him being the nice guy, I think, aren't necessarily his authentic self. The dude, like, again, his dog is named Luffy, a One Piece character. He wears broccoli drawers. Like, the dude has his own, he's a particular archetype, but he's using a nice guy game because he thinks that's going to end up getting him the best results instead of being his authentic and true self. And I think that that's a disjustice or injustice to himself, and as well as the process. But hey, nice guys, I know that there's plenty of them out there. I know that there's a lot of people who don't use that that tactic or being an honest and genuine nice guy nefariously. But I think Alan does it, and that's why he hasn't yielded great results in his dating thus far.
I'm in it. I'm in it now. I'm in it. My pressure is so high. Okay. I'm breathing so hard. Like, what are you saying, Easton? Like, the same, I'm so triggered. Like, the same way I was stuck in a whole country is the way Alan is stuck in this experiment, right? You just trying to make it work. And so, yes, he does. He is a nice guy. And one thing I'll tell you is that when someone sees you being a nice guy and then their person is walking over them, it does make way for the other person to come in and flirt with your woman and things like that. Ask me how I know. You know, so it's not cool. But under these circumstances of them being in this experiment, he's trying to make it work. But I don't think that, oh, he was being nice and defending MM because he's trying to like gain cool points with Maddison. That's outrageous. He has not exhibited any behavior like that to show that he's inauthentic when he's taken up for MM. In fact, hold on, because when they went to the couples retreat, and even when MM came, he even said, like, I'm glad certain people are not here. He don't like Ikechi, rightfully so. He just has the cojones to say it out loud. He has seen nice guys finish last to people like Ikechi. So he's in that regard, he takes up for that, but he is not faking in his nice guy behavior. Like, let's not at all.
I think that you are misdiagnosing it. I think that you are a little bit blind to the eye of it. Guys have seen other dudes. Like, I've seen guys cape and act like a white knight because they trying to get the acceptance of other women. Y'all fellas, have y'all ever seen a guy ever do something that's out of his character, and just because the girl that he likes is right there in the corner or listening or is around there or say some wild stuff that you know he don't believe, but he gonna do so, you can give a nod, you can shake your head no, but if I'm lying, I'm flying. I've seen it with my own eyes, and a lot of guys do it. Trey, am I lying?
Practically, no, you're not. The only issue is on shows like this, and this particular show, it is geared for you to be that way.
Oh, for sure. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying with Alan, and specifically with him and what he's doing, I think that all of the guys, and maybe that's a character flaw, and it magnifies in a show like this, is that we tend to use different tactics to try to get what we want. You have Ikechi who's trying to use the eloquent words and trying to disarm MM through being a great orator. You have Thomas being really passive. You have Juan trying to be charming. Everybody's using their own strategy. I think Alan's strategy is just being the nice guy, and it tends to be, and it's not overt. It's not as overt as what we might like to think of it. It's more covert. It's a little bit more behind the scenes, and you know, it just might be something that you, Latoya, might not see just in front, and it happens to you daily, but I see it all the time. Guys use that nice guy play game and they really trying to run game, but they acting as if they're like, oh, I'm just the nice guy. I just have my bomber jacket and my Jaguar and my dog and everything's great. And I don't know that she's doing me dirty and woe is me. Alan could have got out of there plenty of times, but he never did. He could have checked her for being out late. He could have checked her for how she was talking to him. He could have checked her plenty of times, but he never did. Why? Because he wants his own. He wants the desired result, which is to get the love and admiration of Maddison. But he got the wrong one because she's a dog.
I agree with you on that part that he wants the love and admiration from Maddison, but it got to go all the way back to his friends. He is a people pleaser. Just plain and simple. His friends said he was a people pleaser when they talked to them at the after they got married. So what he's doing is he's living his character. He's trying to please everybody, right? He stood up to Ikechi because again, he don't like Ikechi. Nobody likes Ikechi. Nobody at that table, no guy has a relationship with Ikechi, right? Nobody does. Ikechi has no relationship with anybody else. So I can see where it is with Alan, why Alan would stand up for EMEM. Right, not necessarily because he likes her or he's trying to get with her, for the fact that I don't like Ikechi. I don't like the way he's treating his woman or treating his wife, and which he doesn't realize his woman is treating him like that, but he don't see it, right? And so he's trying to do everything as a people pleaser. He's trying to do everything to win the love of Maddison, but he doesn't realize that he's playing a game he can't win, right? He's playing a game that he's not going to win because she's in love with somebody else. Or she likes somebody else. And he can change his teeth. He can change his clothes. He can change his swag. He can stay up. He can buy her whatever he wants to buy, ride around in the Jaguar, whatever. She does not like him. She already said that from day one. Her friends try to tell him that she's used to dating pretty boys. He's not the pretty boy, right? She tried to even conform him. She can't even kiss you, right? This is where my problem with Alan. This woman couldn't even kiss you when you want to bet, and she kissed you on the cheek, and you didn't confront it. You didn't say anything when you were with the experts. So he's trying to make sure that she's happy and pleased, thinking that if she stays happy and pleased, that he's going to love her. Even when he did check her, right, he's the first one to go back in to apologize because he's a people pleaser, right? So therefore, that's where when he checked her about being a party girl, he told his truth, right? And then he said, well, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said it that way. No, you meant what you said. Stand 10 toes down, right? And stop trying to please her to make her feel happy. And that's what he's trying to do, trying to make her feel happy. And he's conforming. And again, he's a straight people pleaser. So when he has to realize he can't make everybody happy and she's not the one, and he hasn't realized that, maybe next week when it comes out that she's a cheater, his mindset would change and we'll see the different side of Alan, right? We'll see Alan who's upset, this Alan that's mad, Alan who realized that he's been wasting his time for the last 6 weeks. Right, doing everything to try to change and conform, because if he ain't pissed next week and he still try to please her when all this hits the fan, then Alan is really a simp.
Before the next person speaks, I just want to say the equivalent of what Glenn said is niceness is not required. Kindness is. And so Alan is a kind man. But this nice stuff, aka people pleasing, has got to stop.
How do we know this man is kind?
Oh my God.
We just come on, y'all. Like
Easton, my brother, how is he supposed to get this woman? Like, how is he supposed to get this woman? Let me know if he's being the nice guy and you saying all of this is a facade. Tell me what is he supposed to do?
I'm saying, as a 35-year-old man, you should have enough social awareness to know, like, hey, the efforts that I'm doing isn't working. My actions aren't being reciprocated. I had to basically try to play you in a game of hopscotch to get a kiss from you, and I had to win it. And you didn't even give me a real kiss. You gave me a kiss on the cheek. You turned your face. He should know that this woman doesn't like him and he needs to evacuate. Like, I think that at some point, you don't have the excuses of being like, oh, well, maybe I got to keep trying. No, if this was the real world and if this was somebody that any of the women or anybody in the chat, if a guy kept doing all this stuff to you, he would be a creep, a weirdo, somebody that you wouldn't like. And I think that what Alan is doing isn't on the creep or weirdo level. I just think that he is using his niceness as a weapon. And in my opinion, we gotta stop that. I think that's causing a huge cascade of men thinking that we can use we use certain tactics to garner the relationship and the love and admiration of a woman that ain't gonna come nowhere. So I just think that he's just using his. I don't think it's manipulation per se, but it's just covertly. And again, he's nice, he's kind, but I think if he's all this nice and kind, he would yield great results in his past relationships, in my opinion.
I agree with all of that, Easton, what you just said, but again, I'm gonna ask you, what should he be doing? You're saying everything that he did do, but tell me, what should he do? But he's trying to make this work for this show. So on this show, in this situation, if a man is liking a woman and that is not being reciprocated, yes, he should leave. But since he's on this show, for the nice guys, for the simps out here who are not going to hear these words, and you're telling them not to be the nice guy, not to do things that you know they want to do. We all do that. We all put on a front for somebody that we like. Okay? I put on my good draws if I like you. You know what I'm saying? We all do things that we don't normally do.
But Phil, you know when somebody likes you and when somebody doesn't. What I'm saying is, at some point in time, and she made it abundantly clear early on that she didn't like this man. She never, like, her and Maddison or Michelle were very similar. All I'm saying is he should identify that she doesn't like him, and he should remove himself the same way as I'm gonna say, hey, EMEM, you shouldn't have kept going back to. We were all saying EMEM shouldn't go back to Ikechi plenty of times because he said it from the get-go that he never liked her. So I'm saying he needs to remove himself because what he's doing isn't. It's just not a good look. It's not a good look. I'm not saying you can't be nice to people, you can't be kind to people, but brother, you going above and beyond, looking you going outside, bro, and he about to crash out because that's what nice guys do when they don't get what they want. Trust me, as somebody who's a recovering nice guy, you go to therapy and when you don't get what you want, you crash out, and that boy's about to crash out.
So now we get into the root of it all. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was see a little bit of yourself in Alan. Is that what got you going on this windy road?
I see myself in a lot of the people. I'm just saying that I
David?
see. Huh? Yeah,
you see yourself in David?
I think we all see if you ever cheated or done something. Yeah, you see yourself as David in some points.
I don't see myself nowhere near him.
Oh, don't save me.
Yeah, I see myself as David. You already know I see myself as David.
Right?
So,
yeah, I think we debunked a little bit of that yesterday. You just wanna coddle these fools. I don't know why. But yeah, don't identify with David. You can see yourself in Alan if you want to, but don't identify with David. He don't need your coddling, your sympathy.
For sure.
David needs it, man. He's a normal human being who's going through a little situation where unfortunately
don't sanitize that.
That's a bit bad, and he needs to find himself a little exit route. I understand it, bro. I understand it. I can't lie to you. I'd have told him, listen, come over here, David. Let's talk about it, bro. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even doing that wrong. No, listen. 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 I think we all see ourselves in different people. You know what I'm saying? So I see what Easton's trying to do. He's trying to help Alan out. You know what I'm saying? But I also see the panel too. They're also saying that at the same time, we don't want to put the blame on him too much. And I get it. Listen, that's the whole point of these conversations. They're to bring the different perspectives to the table so we can actually see what people are feeling. There are different points of view. There are different discourses. You know what I'm saying to you? So I'm not afraid of discourse. It's good. Yes, Easton.
Last little bit. I know that we are talking about we wanting more leaders. Like, we're wanting more leaders from our men. We're wanting more leaders from just men folk in general. But even with like Thomas and Camille, she's saying she wants a leader. Like, I don't think that Alan's behaviors are that of a leader. And I think a leader, especially as a healthy man, you identify you identify bad situations early on and you get yourself out of them. And you also identify and you're able to regulate, your personality, how you act and how you showcase yourself in all these moments. And you also don't do things because you expect a result. And I think that's my biggest heart with Alan, is that he's doing stuff because he's having an expected result at the end of his grandiose gestures and different things like that. And I think that in itself is manipulative, but it's just more covert.
Okay, now you tripping. You tripping hard.
Wait. He is supposed to have an expected result. That's what he signed up for this show for. It is for an expected result. So in that sense, he has the right to be somewhat upset when the ish hit the fan. You know, but the weird thing that's getting me about all this, there's a lot of aspersions and assumptions being placed onto Alan when you're literally been put in a situation where technically you can't get out of. You have to ride it out to the end. We all know he should leave. Half of these couples should leave. The only couple we think should probably stay together, at least maybe work it out, is Thomas and Camille. The rest of them, let it go. But we all know they're somewhat locked in until decision day. So when you're locked into decision day, this is my main point about Alan. You're locked in this situation with this woman. You like her, so he's trying to do everything that he can to make it work. Hey, what can I do? This and that, third. I think deep down he knows this is not going to work. She doesn't like me. But he's in this situation, so he has to do the best he can. Now, here's the kicker. Here's the kicker with all of this. If Alan does not continue to be a nice guy, as we pointed him out to be, what will he turn into quickly? He's either going to be a Juan or he's going to be a David. If he doesn't do what he's doing right now and just trying to be a nice guy, he's either going to be cast aspersion as the Juan, like as people been going on here about all season, because Juan is in the same boat. He ain't feeling homegirl. And honestly, I don't think Carla really feeling him either, because she was asked, even though we ain't talking about them, she was asked directly, do you think it would work out with Juan? That pause was telling. And then she's gonna lie herself. I think it could work. No, you know it ain't gonna work. Y'all are cool with each other. You just riding this out to the end. But Juan is still catching flack for not liking someone, which is crazy. Which is crazy. Like he's supposed to like her. He is supposed to like her. No. And I say the same thing about Maddison. If she doesn't like Alan, that's fine. But the way she's been going about it has been horrible. Now the way Alan, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I don't think anybody's saying that Maddison ain't bad. I just think that Alan's behavior, like, brother, you can't be 35, have a Jag, have a dog, have a nice apartment, have a bomber jacket, and be acting like this. That's all I'm saying. I said, brother, you need to have it together. By the time where she's making you, after the honeymoon, you should be in your mind how she was treating him honeymoon on. He should have been like, hey, what's going on? Is this, as soon as she started negging him, he should have just started to remove himself or pause what's going on and just kept it pushing. But he keeps pushing and keeps trying and keeps agitating this thing. And that's my issue with Alan. It's not the fact that Maddison isn't bad. It's just that, bro, as a man, as a 35-year-old man, you need to have some respect for yourself. And if not, people gonna walk all over you all your life. Everybody saying they're gonna give Alan a chance and they love Alan. I don't see these Alan types being dated all the time. Real talk. We say Alan is getting, I love Alan. Oh, I would just eat him up if he just like that for me. I don't see y'all with no Allens. And that's just real rap. But hey, I don't know if I'm offending anybody, but I don't see y'all date no Alan in real life.
But Easton, my brother, we all do things wanting an expected result. You take a woman out on a date and you show her a nice time. You want to peck at the end of that date. You may want something a little bit more at the end of the date. Hell, you may just want a second date. So when you do stuff, you are expecting a result. That don't make you manipulative. That makes you a human being, because we're all looking for positive results based upon the actions that we do to others.
But
right?
Phil, if she doesn't give you the signals, if she's like, oh, well, if on that date, if she is coming across a little wishy-washy, your expectations change, right, Phil?
Your expectations change, but in this situation with Maddison and Allen, when they get in front of the experts, she's saying, yes, I want to make this work. She's not saying, no, I don't want to make it work. She's telling him. So he's basing his behaviors off of her words. Now, are there the wrong? Should he be doing all of this, looking at it on the outside in? No, he shouldn't. But based on what she's telling him, yes, he should. Would you prefer Allen to be this fake on fake nice guy because he's trying to get this woman, or would you want him to act like Ikechi?
Nobody is saying that. I'm saying you need to moderate your expectations based off of the results that you're getting with what you are doing. If things aren't working, you don't move from 1 to 3 to 5 to 7 and expect there to be some type of change. No, if she's not reciprocating the feelings that you would want or would deem you to like go above and beyond and get your teeth fixed and get a new wardrobe, then you don't need to do that. The same, using the date analogy, I'm not going to expect to go home if we had a terrible date. I don't care what you tell me. Oh, I like seeing you. I know in the back of my head, and everybody on the panel and in the chat know that date went terrible. But no, you don't be like, oh, this date went great. No, you know the date was terrible.
But Easton, you're not going to act like a jerk on that date either, are you? You're going to still try to show her that good time off the break because you thinking that you got a chance to take her home. So you're not going to go in, being rude and disrespectful. You're going to hold that door open. You're going to pick up that check.
Yeah, you're going to do all the right things. But what Alan's going to do is he's going to crash out. That's
Easton, you're going to ask her what she bring to the table. That's what you're going to ask
her. That's what she got. I'll be like, actually, can you cover the tip? Or can you cover the tip or half? We'll go 50-50, split this up. That's what you do. Look, no, I'm just saying that man should have known, or at least had some picked up on the signals that she wasn't interested, and he continued to progress. That's on you, bro. I have to hold you accountable. Maddison wasn't showing you with her actions. She could have been saying all this other bunch of other stuff that she liked him, but her actions was very clear and concise. I don't F with you. I don't like you. I don't sleep with you. You sleeping on the couch. I'm out till 3 a.m. multiple nights, and you even having dreams that I'm with somebody else or I'm involved with somebody else. You had all these red flags, all this stuff, and he never took any of it. So no, I don't have no sympathy for my boy. I know everybody's gonna be mad at that, but you gotta learn. You gotta get better. You gotta learn.
For the record, they are married, so it's worth it to try to work it out at least in the 8 weeks. So I get you. But let's let the 8 weeks go to really like make that decision, unlike certain people who've already walked out of the door, and considering that she has been gaslighting him in front of his friends, in front of the experts, in front of everyone. So you just, they are not boyfriend and girlfriend. They went to an altar and got legally married. You owe it to your marriage to just try to work through it the best way you can.
In the reverse, Latoya, real quick, Latoya, you gonna tell EMEM that? You gonna tell EMEM that after Ikechi done dogged her?
He doesn't come home though.
She come home at 3.
It doesn't matter. He comes home. That's the gaslighting.
All right, y'all got it.
I'm leaving here with something. You know what I mean? I'm from around the way. I'm leaving with something.
All right, let's move on then. Let's move on. Listen, I love the good sporting debate. I love the tenacity that you guys brought to that conversation. I can't wait to see what the replay is going to be like, because I'm definitely going to chop that up. All right, so that was some great work. You know, we had different points of view and different opinions on that, and I think you guys did a good job on it. Listen, next week is going to be, you guys save your breath. Next week is going to be there. You're going to have another battle, because there's going to be more of that conversation when he bangs the cupboard, so you can actually have a real conversation about it. Let me just read some of the super chats before we move on to EMEM and Ikechi to end the night. Nola Darling says, no, they were in close proximity and no one knew. That's to do with David and Michelle earlier on, and from Claire. Clee112, I hope I'm pronouncing this right because you know I'm going to destroy a name. Clee112 says Alan is a simp, just wants to hit that bad. That's a nicer guy angle. He ain't been with no one like her. He knows, trying to get the good edit. Okay. Rose said earlier on, Alan has respected Maddison's autonomy and rejection and has never coerced or forced her to do anything sexually. He's been vulnerable and voiced his opinion. All right. And Rose again said, shout out to you again, Rose, for the super chats as well. Really do appreciate it. Says, imagine going to a show, putting your life on pause to seek love and not court and try. People take this seriously and don't want to waste their time. And last one from Rose again says the goal of the show should be to try and try until the end. Unless someone is mentally abusive like Chris or Ike or cheating, it's not Alan's fault. Shout out to Rose for obviously bringing those super chats. We appreciate you. And we're going to move on to obviously Ike and EMEM to end the show, but this has just been a really good conversation. You know what I'm saying to you? I love the spirit of debate. There's 2 different sides, or 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different sides to a situation and how you view it, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying to you? And it helps to have a holistic conversation. The audience are always going to pick a side, and we love that. Okay, all right. So we're going to talk about EMEM and Ikechi. I want to get you guys' thoughts. I know Seaway's on the panel as well, but Sean, you got your mic open, so go for it.
Yeah, I just wanted to tell you that
it.
last super chat was from, her name is either Keisha or Kesha L. The last one wasn't Rose. That was Keisha.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, my eyes be doing a lot of stuff, so I apologize. Yes, it is Kesh, but I do apologize. Sorry about that, Kesh. My bad about that. That's on me. Me and my reading glasses not working at this hour of the night. But you shouldn't have super chat said, obviously, their theme song is Escape My Little Secret. Damn. I love it. All right, let's talk about EMEM and Ikechi. And shout out for those of you who are sending super chats in. We always appreciate it as well. Helps to shape the conversation that we're having. Obviously, EMEM and Ikechi, their situation. We know that Ikechi went off to Houston. Since obviously Easton had a very spirited opinion of Alan, I wonder if he'll have another spirited opinion of EMEM on this situation, because it seems that EMEM and Alan got some tendencies. So, but Sean, I'd love to open up the panel, and then I'll definitely get Seaway's point of view. What's your thoughts, EMEM, Ikechi? Dr. Pia, I guess obviously is going to be involved in this, but what's your thoughts?
I'm stressed. Every time I see this character on my screen, I just get stressed. I think he just thinks he's smarter than he actually is. Just starting out that scene when he sat down and they were meeting up with Dr. Pia. I guess I'm going to go a little light on her today because I've been heavy on her neck, but she was almost getting them to a good point. But when they met with her, and he's going to walk over and hug Dr. Pia, sit down, barely glance over at EMEM. And then when he gets called out about it, oh, you stopped me before I was going to do it. Like, he's very juvenile. That is just beyond petty, beyond sassy. It's just next level. You can't even just say hello to her. It's like he's repulsed by her and wants to make her out to be the worst person that ever exists. And then when he gets asked questions, Dr. P is trying to help him explain himself, discuss and describe what she did. He has no examples. There's no peace. I needed to center myself. You're always centering yourself, bro. I can't believe he said he needed some peace to center himself. He's always doing that. So, yeah, I really, I was a little worried about EMEM. I don't know why she even chose to go to that arcade with him after they had that very unkind exchange. I wish he would just not give him any energy whatsoever. Don't hold out for hope. She was sitting out with Michelle saying he's sending mixed signals. No, I really don't think he's giving her mixed signals. He's just being himself. And that's just a conundrum. I think she needs to abort the mission. And hopefully, after he served her with that divorce paper, at the couples retreat, I hope that's everything she needs to not even engage with him anymore. Let's just have our attorneys talk going forward. And I'm glad that he showed just who he is and how unsmart he is by showing up with a document with pages 1 of 4 and only page 1 present. That just shows how less than smart he is. And the last time I checked, I don't know, maybe COA can clarify a little bit on this part, but I didn't think you could serve your spouse divorce papers. I thought that someone else had to do the serving the last time I checked. I mean, I've only been divorced once, but the last time I checked, you can't necessarily do it yourself unless they're trying to do the process together. I don't know, but you know, that's my soliloquy. On to you, COA.
Hello, everyone. I feel like I've been sitting here patiently. Y'all been talking about everything under the god dog sun. Yeah. Well, to answer your question, I was about to say, this is actually for Brittany, low key. I don't know if she's in here, but yeah, if they're doing the paperwork together, I figure he would be trying to do a joint petition for divorce, and then they can go ahead and then file that together. I thought that was the goal, I guess, but he was just playing. He was just playing in MM's face. What I want to say is that MM is a mix of delusional and fake and hilarious this episode. I don't know how she manages to do all three, but MM, she was delusional for telling is that this episode she tell Michelle that he be giving her mixed signals? Yeah, that's her delusional. And she's also a little crazy for going to that arcade, but she's also being fake because she literally, she knows that Ike is touched by Angel. She's just trying to make sure she don't look crazy as he do. So she be playing it up for the cameras, because the way she ate him up, brought that one divorce paper and told him that that one paper wasn't legal and that there was no place to sign, I was screaming. I was hollering. She had her redemption today. Completely. Redemption today. She said, oh no, I'll give you the divorce, but you need to give me actually something to sign. She said, this is page 1 out of 4. I was hollering because he thought that he was going to come in there and embarrass her. And when he walked in there, he sucked all the energy out of the room, looking like a complete psychopath. And then he ended up getting embarrassed himself, and then he headed out like a child. So, yeah. I'm glad she ate him up for that. But she's a, you know, she's special herself, but she handled that amazingly, and I'm glad that she had a bit of redemption for everything that he's put her through.
I'll jump in. I just want to say that I really was upset that Dr. Pia did not put pressure on him once he walked in and gave her a hug and greeted her, and did not greet MM and then made an excuse. I'm tired of him doing that. Like, I don't know what that is called, but there has to be like a term for that I'm not allowed to use, but they let him get away with that and don't really call him on his disrespectful behavior. So I was really upset by that. And then afterwards, when they were done with the meeting and then they're talking outside, like, why are you even giving him energy? Why didn't you walk away to your car? Like, this man literally said, I don't want to be with you, in front of the cameras and everything. He's disrespected you. And then now you're about to go to the arcade with him across the street. And then he tells him, I'm gonna beat your ass. Like, what? Like, girl, walk away. Go be in better company. So I didn't like that either. I did. And the after show, he was, you know, he loves to, like, he's not calling her aggressive, but he does everything around it to still basically say the same thing. So he said in the after show, like, well, yeah, I came there to get that done. And then after she started turning up, then I left. And I really wanted Keisha to be like, when did she turn up? Like, her voice never got an octave higher than what she was talking. So again, he just wants to position her as like the enemy when really he's projecting the entire time. He wanted to demean her and embarrass her, but I am glad that she redeemed herself, because yeah, she's probably used to signing more contracts than him. And then again, here he goes again with this, I don't want to sit down at the table, I'm allergic to shellfish. Like, it's just, I'm tired of all of it. He could not sit in my face. If I was one of these couples, I could not say something and call him out on his behavior. I'm not the 1, 2, or 3. And so, and then also I watched another recap online, and I actually, it was shown that he actually doesn't even have his teaching credentials, that but he actually has his barber license. Like somebody looked this up, which I believe that's probably what's in the book bag. So they literally researched this and said they cannot find that this man is a teacher or has credentials to actually be teaching. So if he is teaching, we know how in Chicago you can work for the public school system where you do have to have credentials, or you can work for the charter schools and you can get away with not having them there. But it was shown that he don't have those credentials. He in fact has a barber's license. He's a fraud all the way around. And I'm glad that she's finally redeeming herself. And I just want to add, lastly, she's looking more beautiful every episode as she's stepping away from him. She looked really pretty this past episode.
She had that same energy for Alan.
Who's next? Who wants to tackle this issue?
I'll go next.
I'll go next. Go ahead, Phil.
Okay. I thought Ikechi was a career counselor, not a teacher. Ikechi is a super lame, whack, a BAN, a itch ass N-word. That was awful. Trying to publicly disrespect this woman is just too much for me. Like, coming to the couples retreat with that one sheet of paper was mad stupid and whack. He let production play him like the clown he is. I was happy EMEM was silent during that, horrible advisement by Dr. Pia. Dr. Pia can go. If she giving out this whack advice, she can go. I was glad, but she irritated me because she said yes so quickly. When he said, let's go to the arcade, you want to go to the arcade? Yes. I was like, damn, girl, let him get it out. Don't be so thirsty. Ikechi is super whack. Like, he is a disrespect to all brothers in America. Like, I didn't like it. And when she said he's public, he's trying to hurt me. And he used 2 words with Dr. Pia. I left for solitude and safety. Again, trying to imply that this woman is being aggressive and dangerous. I didn't like that. He's trying to invoke certain feelings out of people with the language that he chooses. Yo, Ikechi is whack. He wears that same hat every day, even on the after show. Dog, buy another hat. Super whack. That's all I got for now. But shout out to EMEM for being smart. She redeemed herself at the end. I do agree with Seaway.
Yeah, I think
he's hat fishing. He has to have his hat.
Got to. I think being whack is an understatement, right? For him to even come in there and be disrespectful to Dr. Pia, to MM, like, it's nice to just be nice. When you step in a room and you see people there, it's okay to say hi, right? Just wave, give a head nod. It's okay to be nice. You could tell they hadn't talked to each other because he don't communicate. For him to say solitude, he needs to go away and have peace. How do you get solitude and peace going to homecoming, right? How do you get solitude and peace for hanging out all weekend? And why do you always need that much peace, right? If you need that much peace, sometimes you may want to look at you because you might be the one bringing the chaos. You might be the one bringing the drama. You might be the one bringing the issues. Is there not that much peace in the world? Even when you come to the he has not been able to build any relationships on this show whatsoever. The guys don't like him. The girls don't like him. His wife doesn't like him, or the lady he's married to doesn't like him. And for him to even post up on the wall at the retreat, waiting for her to look up instead of saying, hey, MM, can you come in for a minute, please? It took him a minute to do that. And who doesn't look in the folder before you get there? Like, how stupid could you be? Even if production gave it to him or he came up with it himself, you have to be smart enough to know that this woman is going to look at all 4 pages. Is not going to sign anything. And if you were smart enough, you would at least part the page that you signed, not the first page that says anything. That says nothing. So that shows how unintelligent he is, right? How he wants to gaslight everything, how he wants to control situation, how he wants to embarrass her, and how he wants to hurt. Let it go. If she doesn't mean that much to you, let it go. Even after the fact that he finished talking to Dr. Pia, why would you even ask her to go play video games If you MM, why would you even go? Right? He just gaslights you to the point where you had to get up and leave the conversation. And now you want to go play Pac-Man or whatever else you want to go play at the arcade. And then you lock arms with him. Let it go. And we talked about earlier, somebody who needed to leave. We said Alan needed to leave. MM should have left a long time ago. MM should have said no a long time ago. MM should have said, Dr. Pierre, I don't want to talk to you. You're the sex therapist. I need to talk to Dr. Pepper, or I need to talk to Pastor Cal, because I don't need to talk to you because you keep pushing me to go back to this dude, and this dude is not meany good. And MM need to say what? Get out of the thought or the theory that you need a husband, right? I'm glad she came to that conclusion at the end after he served the papers. Like, I don't need you. I'll sign the divorce papers. But she should have been saying that a long time ago. I'll sign the divorce papers. I'll leave you a long time ago. Instead of keep going back. Well, we might try and live together. We may not try to live together. I'm going to stop calling you husband. She's been playing that back and forth game a long time. And she needs to stand 10 toes down and be like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done having this conversation. We already made our decision. Our decision is no. And let's keep moving forward. I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm not going to deal with you. I'm not going to talk to you. Talk to my lawyers. You already sending me papers. I'm not dealing with this anymore. And I didn't even think this could be. I didn't think on Married at First Sight that you could draw up your own divorce papers. I thought they had to do it. Maybe I may be wrong. But, you know, Ike's definitely a punk for this one, right? For everything, but definitely a punk for this one, trying to embarrass her on the retreat or try to steal the moment. He always tries to steal moments. And for somebody who watches this show, he's calculated about how he steals moments when they were together as a group.
Yeah, to your point, Glenn, they can't, in their contract, they can't even file for divorce until after their reunion airs, which is why any couple that gets divorced is always much, much later, because then it would ruin the season. Because if they filed it then, this show, I think, was shot. They were doing this during 2023. So it would have ruined the show. So he just pulling stunts. You know, that's like pulling stunts. Just for clarity, I did find out via his LinkedIn page, he is a college counselor, you know, which is slightly different. So as much as, you know, we just want to put a fact out there. Not that I want to put a cape on for Ike at all, but, you know, he is a college counselor.
Yes, I'll come in real quick and say something. I keep saying real quick, but it'll be real quick. With Ike, it's really sad. I'm done with the whole he's narcissist. We know he's got issues, but it's really sad seeing this brother come in and basically be pimped out by the show. I don't believe that this moment was orchestrated by Ike's genius, and he was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna come in here and I'm gonna steal the show." The same way as I don't think that he designed himself going into the dinner to come in late and do all this stuff. I think that is a little bit more of a production. I think it's more production trying to, again, get a lot more drama, get a lot more have a little bit more storyline for Ike, and you could just see him in that charter school budget. Or salary that he has. He needs mass money bad, and it looks like he does. He needs that money bad, and he over here, they pimping him along and just dragging him. Hey, my boy, I want you to walk in here with this green folder with one page in it and make a mem sign it, and insist that she signs it. We're gonna tell you when we're gonna cue you in. The same thing with the dinner date. All right, everybody else gonna drive in the van or the bus with everybody, and they're gonna have a good time, and we're gonna have you come in late. And then you make your scene. It's sad seeing this man get pimped around for production value. But again, I have no sympathy for you, Ike. You were incredibly mean. You were vile. You were disrespectful. And you know, you get what you give because you wanted to be on this show for 2 seasons. So you get what you give. And so that's all I'm gonna say about Ike. I think at this point he's just production value. Now with EMEM. EMEM is the female version of Alan, where I don't, and I say this respectfully, but being with all these degrees and being super well accomplished, I think her greatest flaw is that she wanted to be married for the accomplishment. I think she would have married anybody who they gave her. Like, she was so driven with Ikechi, so hard-headed and stubborn with Ikechi that she would have made probably anybody that they would have paired her with, she would have stuck it out with. And that is, she has a desired result. She wants the validation of being married and for her to check this thing off of her list, which a lot of people do. And that is I guess the female equivalent of Alan's mistake, is that they're trying to control the situation because maybe she wants the validation that comes with being married and wanting that whether it be for the fact that her father had passed away and that was a goal and thing that she wanted for that, or it's just a personal accomplishment and she naturally just doesn't want to fail. She's successful at everything she does, and that's her greatest weakness. And so I don't have any sympathy, because with all of these accomplishments, with all you have on the line, you effectively lost who you were in chasing Ikechi, and you also let him play in your face and you kept going back. Like going to the arcade, you should have just went the other way. You could have played the Nintendo Switch at your own house, but you went ahead and went and kept the thing going along. And so I don't have a lot of sympathy for EMEM. I'm glad that she came across looking good whenever she didn't sign, and if she was an idiot, but she is the female equivalent of Alan. And you know how I felt about Alan, so I don't have too much sympathy. You knew what Ikechi was, and he told you from the get-go he don't want to be around you, nothing, and you kept proceeding. He didn't even try to lie. At least Maddison lied.
Damn. Good for Trey.
Well, now this is the prime example of someone showing you, I don't want you. I don't want you. I don't need you no more. KG is a prime example. And KG the Clown is so funny to me nowadays. This is ridiculous. Yeah, he makes me sigh. KG, I don't know what else to say about this guy. He's a clown of the highest level. He wants to be a diva so bad. He has to have the attention. He has to have everyone look at me, or woe is me, or you're not understanding me at all times. You know, he's a diva. He's a Mitch. Just say it like it is. He's a Mitch. This is perfect Mitch right here. Square box, put his face in it. He's a Mitch. You know, so anything that he does nowadays it's just what Mitches do. It is what it is. The thing that puzzles me is, and I have to go on EMEM a little bit on this, is why are you even playing in our face to entertain this EMEM? Like now we've been saying this for each couple. She gotta stay in this, so you gotta play this out, this and that and third. But the thing that concerns me by EMEM, and this has been since the beginning, and we haven't really had a chance to go in on it because Ikechi's just been so bad. EMEM is a woman who just wants to be married. It doesn't, to Easton's point, you said earlier, she just wants to be married. It doesn't matter who she's married to. She just wants the title. And hopefully there's a body that can stand behind it, which has its own set of issues. That's its own set of problems right there. But her making statements of when she was talking to Michelle saying KG giving mixed signals, I was like, where? What mixed signal had this man gave you other than disgust? That's all he's giving you is just disgust of you. And you're sitting here trying to convince us, oh, I'm still in this to the end. He says he's in it, he's giving mixed signals. I just don't understand. Stop. Just stop. You know, the Lulu is just driving me crazy. Like, no, stop it. It just wanted. The only time EMEM gets real is when EKG does the most, like he did with this little one-page sheet divorce paper, which I've never seen before in my life. I remember my divorce. That thing was like, it was an amicable divorce. That thing was still a good stack. We had papers. There's documents in here, you know, with some understandings. Okay, we're going to do this, that. We keep this. We split this. it was a couple pages, not one. I ain't never seen one that with a folder. He came there with a page with one page in a folder. Come on, sign this. What? Okay, bro. He was just there to grab attention. Hey, everybody, look at me. I'm gonna stand creepy over here on the door sill. It's for somebody to come talk to me. You know, like everything has turned into a production for Ikechi. Like it's just purely for comedy's sake, purely just to be seen. Look at me. You know, and I don't even know if it's to a point where he cares about how he comes off. Obviously, he must don't, because the missions just drive me crazy. Like, bro, and then MM half the time I'm with her. I'm like, yeah, this this is some bull crap, and then the other half, this is some bull crap. Why are you still acting like you in it? Like it's like everybody's playing a game of chicken with each other, saying who's gonna quit first, like who's gonna ask for the divorce first. Because as soon as I'll be happy to sign the papers, but I'm gonna need something a little more substantial. I'm gonna need somebody to look at. So there could be some more paperwork, this and that third. The correct answer, but not 20 minutes before you was all like, "Oh, we're still working on it. As long as you're trying, I'm trying. It's all good." So basically, you wanted him to call quits first. Okay.
Thank you, Trey. Who's next?
Okay, I gotta put on my cape for EMEM. Y'all going too hard on my good sister. I think she definitely made some mistakes, but unlike Alan, she's also being gaslighted by the experts as well. Dr. Pia and Pastor Cal are giving her horrible advice, awful advice. And it reminded me of Buddy with Alyssa. They told him to get out of it. They are not giving this woman the same advice. I do think EMEM wants to be married for companionship. She may not be ready for marriage, but I do think she was genuine about wanting to be married. But I do think she does need to see some things, but I'm more disappointed in the experts in this. They should have been telling her to walk away. They should have been telling her, like, you should be looking and valuing yourself. I just got a cape for her, and I'm reading some of the comments, and y'all talking about EMEM's personality and stuff like that. I don't think that's fair to talk about her personality. Her personality has nothing to do with this man's bad behavior. You know what I'm saying? Even if it was production Easter, and I do think production does tell them to do a lot of this stuff, but when are we as Black men going to say no? Because you've watched this show before, and it's got to be a time where we say, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to play this sister out like that on TV for y'all entertainment. We also have to start saying no. So, I do think she did make some mistakes. She didn't see some things that we saw, but I also want us to give her a little bit of grace. And I'm not saying that we're not, but a little bit more grace. But we really need to call out these experts. The way they handled her and Ikechi's relationship was awful, and she was being gaslit from both ends.
Yeah, I do think that, not that I blame her for anything that Ike is doing, or that if she did anything different, it would get a different result. I do think that she is bracing herself for war, and she is in her redemption era heavy right now. I think that's why her and Michelle get along a little bit, because they both want to be redeemed for different reasons. But yeah, because even if you see the outfits that she wore, the last episode she had on this big old Gucci gladiator belt, she was ready for war. This week she had on them shoulder pads. She was ready for defense with them shoulder pads. She was fitting to get it popping with Ike. And, you know, listen, I don't blame her. Even her facial expressions, she looked like she's pissed, you know? So I think she wants to redeem herself. She wants to go toe-to-toe with Ike, you know? I think we're going to see that, you know, that EMEM that called him a clown. And she hit us with that line, you know, bring me a clown, I'll show you a circus, whatever that is. I never heard that before, but it was funny to me. I think EMEM got some fight in her, you know? And if she said, and I think somebody called it out, I'm not sure who, that she has been with worse guys than Ike.
Yeah, that's what she said.
If she said that, that means she's used to some tussling. And I think we fitting to see her tussle and show out and give him a run for his money. And lastly, Easton, I don't think production told her to do that, because they would be asking themselves to be terminated, because you can't give a divorce before the show has even finished. They're not even finished. So I don't think they told him to do that. They might have told him to show up. Maybe they told him to show up. I give you that. They might have told him, go show up. And he was like, I don't want to go. Only way I'm going is if I'm going to ask her for a divorce. And then they said, hey, you could do what you want to do. We're not going to tell you what you can and can't do, but we just want you to show up. Maybe that, you know, because I don't want to totally dismiss your opinion. So maybe that's what production told them to do.
I think they told them to do that. I think they told him to bring that little green paper, that little green fold, and that little one piece of paper. I think they told him to do that, because that was next level insanity. I do not think that Ikechi's broke behind, found a lawyer to type it up, and I don't think he tried to type it up. I don't even know if that was a real piece of paper.
See, well, you can download those papers right from the government website.
I think that's exactly what production did. Downloaded them papers off of the Cook County. Brittany in here. What's the website? Off of the Cook County website. Went ahead and downloaded the petition.
Mm-hmm.
He put in a couple of names and whatever in the petition, and he brought that. And that's exactly what production told him to do. That was so freaking foolish. That was so foolish. Brittany's laughing at my text message. Yeah, they downloaded that little petition in the summons and whatever the hell he brought. He brought her one piece of paper. Ike is an entire fool, and production egged him on.
Played him.
And
I don't think that's what's happening. Like working on reality shows. Now I think he probably said, "I got some papers, or I'm about to end this," and they probably was like, "Well, cool, whatever." Like they didn't stop that, but I don't think that they would go so far as to be like, "Go and print this up." All this and that. Like there is still an essence to reality TV, but they will play on how you're acting silly. But they not. I don't think
they printed it. I'm not saying they printed it, but I know that they encouraged him to do something dumb, because if you also look at, he always is timed to come into these scenes in the most dramatic fashion ever. He's always coming in $1 late and a few minutes short. Everybody's always already sitting down. Every time he comes in, they always got the spooky music for his spooky behind. And then he comes in, and then it's always dramatic as hell. This time he had a green folder. It wasn't even red. So I do agree, LaToya, maybe they didn't print it out because they don't want to be that involved. But they definitely encouraged him to do something like this. And they're making a clown
out of him.
And he is already a clown. And, you know, I think EMEM has been trying. EMEM knows that she has a whole business to protect. She know Ike is a fool. So she's not going to go toe-to-toe with him like that. But she had his number this episode. She definitely had his number this episode. So,
yeah, production is using
somebody
because
keeps
they
telling him the perfect time to show up.
But yeah, production is using him because he wants to be on the show. Remember, this guy applied for this show multiple times. So they're using him because he wants to be seen, right? He wants to be here. So somebody say, hey, by the way, just go ahead and go do this. They're not telling them exactly what, because common sense would have told me or told most people, yo, this is not even divorce papers, or this is not even right. Common sense could have stepped in, and we see that he doesn't have much common sense when it comes to that area anyway. It would have been, it would have behooved him at least to read what's going on, to read the room, right? He has no sense of reading the room whatsoever. He can't read. But one thing, the EMEM was really ready to go on because she had Camille backing her up, right? Everything EMEM said, she had her hype man and back there backing her up and did and won't, right? She was back there and she was back there giving her some more gas to the fire. So she felt empowered in that moment with Ike. I need her to be able to do it on a regular basis. Her family warned everybody anyway. If you go back to the beginning, like that EMEM has that fire in her. That EMEM is somebody that needed to be calmed down. And we're starting to see that. She's putting on a her TV persona for everybody else, but he lit that fire. And I think from here on out, we'll see the EMEM that her family talked about when it comes to dealing with Ike. She's going to be short. She won't give him a full sentence. She's going to be who she is. And that's making Ike's life miserable as he did hers. So it's going to be a fight. I mean, decision day is going to be an argument. It's going to be real short. It's going to be a real argument at decision day. There's no way that these two couple, this couple here should do any scenes together again. All right. They should be done after this. There should be no more scenes with EMEM and Ike together. No more scenes with the therapists or the experts with them. It's done. Once you hand me divorce papers, like what else do we have to say? All right. Even though they fake divorce papers, what else do we have to say? At this point, I think Sean said earlier, you're talking to my lawyers. At this point, we're done. Don't put me on the scene with him. Don't put me anywhere near him. We're not doing no more group outings. You stay to your side, I stay to my side. Call it what it is. So, you know, he's letting people gaslight him as he's gaslighting other people because he wants his 15 minutes of fame.
Glenn, I don't think he just wants his 15 minutes of fame. Again, this isn't my idea or theory. I really think I was watching, was it Married for 10 Years, her breakdown. It was really good. So I hope everybody, you know, support everybody. But I don't necessarily think it's him wanting 15 minutes of fame. I think he honestly really likes the show, and he believes that the show will actually find him somebody because he hasn't had any luck. But I do think he's an extremely weak man, and he's incredibly insecure. And so with Mem just recently getting out of an engagement in a relationship, because she wants marriage. That's her thing. She wants marriage. I think I realized that she wanted to get married, and she wanted to get married to anybody. Like, to me, I'm seeing that now. Like, I see his love for the show is just starting to dwindle. And I think that a man was just constantly triggering him to where he was being repulsive and being vile and being a very bad person to her. I think that he felt like a piece of meat. Like the things that he does say, like you have to take some of the things that he does say about Mem or how he treats her or how she treats him is true. Like, I think that she treats him like a piece of meat. Like, I think that in the sense of she just wants somebody to be around, not necessarily get to know. And he was like, oh, well, I want you to get to know me and stuff like that. I really just think that Mem wanted anybody, and she was going to go to the depths of hell to make this relationship work and for it to happen. I caught a beat on that. He got insecure. He started acting kind of narcissistic, although I don't like calling people narcissistic. He started acting like that. And then the circus started to go. But I don't think he just went originally just for 15 minutes of fame. I think he really wanted to come on the show and find somebody because he probably wasn't going to find nobody in real life.
Oh, yeah, I mean, find somebody, but she.
Oh, go ahead.
But she was willing to jump 10 toes down, right? 10 toes in. She jumped in head first. He wanted to put a toe in. So do you blame her for jumping head first, trying to be in a marriage? Right now, we have never got any details on how aggressive she's been, right? He's always saying she's been aggressive. She's always been looking at him as a piece of meat. We have no details. Like, how? Did you ever tell her to stop? Did you tell her to leave you alone? In which ways did she make you feel uncomfortable, right? And then what did you say to her to make you feel that way? Like, what did you say to her to make her stop? And what kind of conversations did you guys have? Or did you just close yourself off and shut off? I do think he came to be married. He wanted to be married and think the show could find him his wife. And he was turned off. But this, again, there's the mixed signals. You put your hand on her, you take your hand and put it on your Johnson, right? So you telling her, you know what, I might be down. She tried to spoon you in the bed. You said, nah, my mama may be watching this. So how much do you take the lead and say, hey, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I want. I want to take it nice and slow. I don't want the sex here. I don't want to be on camera. I don't want to be whatever. Get to know me. Now, this is how you get to know me. or this is what I would like to see. But the way he did it, he didn't do it that way. He came off aggressive. He came off, he was the one that came off aggressive. He also came off as if he looked like, well, she got the money, she got the house, she got the air fryer. What does she need me for? Right? And so he felt inadequate by the fact that she has stuff, right? And makes you think, what does he have? What is he looking for? Right? He's never able to say, what are you looking for in a wife? We never know what Ikechi's looking for, because he never says it. All he says, she's aggressive. What are you looking for in a wife? So therefore, to your point, she may have came 10 toes in, but he never halted her and stopped her and explained what he was looking for. He got an attitude, he got sassy, as people say, and he was never able to communicate. And that's where he messes up, because he doesn't have that growth pattern to communicate what his needs are.
Yeah, I think because he's touched, and I don't think he really knows what he wants, and he's not able to verbalize. I do believe sincerely that he has some deep issues, some trauma, and maybe a personality disorder or two. But I think within that, I think he did believe when he came on this show that maybe because he struggled so much interacting with people, as we can tell from this show, that he was going to find somebody. I think, unfortunately, he may not be meant for anybody on this planet, but he definitely wasn't meant for MM with the type of issues that she was bringing to the table. And I think it's kind of hard to separate, because it's very clear that if Ike was matched with hardly anyone on this planet, it was going to be an issue. So it's kind of hard to then turn and talk about MM, because we all know that the majority of the problem is Ike. But I do believe MM's thirstiness, MM's lack of social skills that I've seen, MM's line of questioning, MM's eagerness probably played into whatever his childhood trauma issues, whatever it is, making him feel like he was worthless, or making him feel like, because he kept on saying certain words that was very interesting. He always said worthless, worth nothing, belittled, things like that. And people just went straight to the small, right? And people went straight to the money situation. And that could be part of it. But I really feel like he was saying that also because she was making him seem like, insert here, any little we would do. That's the vibe. And then her lack of boundaries, he's probably used to women putting up more of a fight. And because she was just like, hey, I'm here, he's like, dang, I ain't crap. Now, for a man who is stable and not a hurt person, maybe like, dang, yeah, I'm happy, I'm all in. But for him, he interpreted it as, I'm not crap, because I ain't nothing for her to even put up a fight about. A lot of people won't understand that because it's convoluted, it's weird, and it's in the eyes of someone who clearly has issues. But I guess somewhere around, I understand some of the issue. But he truly needs therapy, because what I saw in this episode is that Ike, and y'all said it earlier, he's not capable of having relationships with anyone. And that's not a good situation. He's gonna have to fix that. So yeah.
I don't think the questioning was wrong, because we have to remember this is a stranger. I don't know you. And in order for me to get to know you, I do have to ask you some questions. And I will admit that sometimes the questions when you're getting to know someone can be a bit redundant, but that's what we got to do. We got to ask questions and things like that. I do agree with Seaway when she says Ike has some type of issues with everybody. I think Ike is whack. I'm going to use Sean's word he used a couple of weeks ago. And man was definitely romanticizing this relationship too much. But when I'm looking at the chat and I'm looking at the comments, we've never seen her be aggressive except for when he's provoked her. And I definitely believe the questions was, I'm trying to get to know you. Like, I got to ask you questions in order for me to know you. It's not like you really talking to me or saying much. So I'm trying to strike up a conversation by asking you like some open-ended questions.
I mean, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I think that initially, I think there was a switch because Ike was all for it. He was like, "Oh yeah, well, I can't wait for us to have a duck off and stuff like that." And then it changed. And to me, I felt like he probably learned a little bit more about EMEM that maybe have turned him off about the situation or may have made him feel small. I don't think that as a man, as a healthy man, you should be your confidence shouldn't shrink because of something like that. But how I am imagining is what's going on is he's hearing about her relationship status or her coming into this, like just leaving a relationship. And then he feels like, oh, I'm just insert here husband. And it just going from there. Like I'm just an accessory to a mem. I don't think it was the finances. I don't think it was the lifestyle. And I think it's easy. And these are like, I guess, like lazy, like intellectually lazy thoughts for us to be like, oh, it's just the money, or it's just she has so much stuff going on for herself. There are men who are like that, who feel insecure about that. But I think with Ike, I think it was the fact that she just kind of had him as a placeholder for being a husband, and him knowing the history that she just got out of a relationship coming into the show is like, what? Like this completely, ruins my vision of what I wanted, where I feel like I might be just an accessory in your whole vision of what you want as a husband, and anything will do for you. But that's just my
I'm sorry, Easton, but that's an excuse, dog. I'm sorry that we giving him too many excuses for
terrible.
Because she was just in a relationship. All of them are placeholders. All of them came on this show wanting a spouse. Just because I just got out of an engagement, we all came in here for the same reasons, the same goals, and we were all looking at each other the same. So I think that isn't, for me, just me, my opinion, one crazy man's opinion. That's an excuse for him. For me, I think the issue was I didn't like this woman. Just like Maddison, just like Michelle, he just didn't like this woman. And instead of having some grace for this woman and just pulling the wand where I don't like you and we can just joke and laugh and be stupid and silly, he was rude and disrespectful.
I mean, I think that's an oversimplification. I think if you look at the way on the after party, which I barely watched the whole thing, the way Keisha is able to communicate with Ike, I'm not saying a relationship would have worked, but they definitely would have had a better rapport. It's like Keisha has a high emotional intelligence, high situational awareness, and so because of that, she's able to peep what Ike is saying and interact with him better. I think the problem is that Ike is interacting with someone who has very, to me, piss poor social cues and communication skills as well. And then they're feeding off of each other in a very negative way. So I don't really think that's necessarily an excuse. I think it's just, we're just observing. I think oftentimes, especially on these platforms, when one person is so bad, we're not able to actually look at the big picture and look into on both sides how things feed into each other. Nothing works. Nothing happens in a vacuum. So Ike is horrible. We got it, right? Michelle had a piss poor attitude. We got it. But it took until like this recent episode for folks to finally realize that David was full of crap. This happens every season. Because one person is bad, there's some people who have tunnel vision and don't process nuance until the very last moment. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, I didn't realize David was bad. We've been trying to tell you that from before, but everyone wants to talk about, but Michelle has a bad attitude. It's like nuance, people, nuance exists. But it's very, very hard for people to process nuance. So that's all I'm talking about. I think that's actually what Easton is talking about.
Yeah, I agree with y'all. And I think that there's a subtlety to someone answering a question or asking a question rather, and you got to wait to hear their response. That's going to tell you how far you're going to keep going with the questioning or stop. And I think like she hit him with that question, and I saw somebody put it in the chat. I think it was Lorraine. She got, she said, how do you feel about your vows now? That question was a loaded question because she knows how he feels about his vows. She's trying to get him to talk, knowing that he stonewalls. So I think you have to know where to use those tactics and techniques and with what person. So I think that's one part of it. It's like if somebody stonewalls you when they ask a question, that doesn't mean you dig your heels in and you keep pressing. That means you reposition the question, just like Seaway mentioned. When Keisha asked Ike questions on the after party, she would say, hey, listen, I understand what you're saying, but can you give me an example of when she was? I want some clarity. And then let him speak. So that's, again, we're not blaming. I want to be clear for anybody that's on the other side of this. We're not blaming EMEM for Ike. We're saying there are some opportunities for EMEM. And lastly, he made a point a couple of times, like she was just super excited to be with me. It didn't even matter who I was. She was just so geeked over him with not looking to see his energy being reciprocated that she was just excited. Let's take a shower together. Let's do this. Again, in theory, there's nothing wrong with a new wife asking her husband to take a shower, but you should be reading the room to see if that energy is coming back at you. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't look to see if the energy is the environment is right for her to be leaping in the bed, taking a honey pack. You know what I mean? Like if, she should like read the room. If you pop a honey pack and say, all right, and your dude says, my mama's watching, he's low-key telling you, I don't want it. Because that's not the comment. You know what I'm saying? That's not a comment of somebody that's really interested in you at any point, generally. And I don't want to speak for all men, but I think like most of us, if we're maybe just not ready right at that moment, or we're a little embarrassed or shy, we're going to say later, or let's turn the lights out. We're not going to say my mama's watching. That means I don't want you ever, typically, unless we just being really silly. But generally, that's not going to happen.
That and when he called her a homie. Remember?
Yeah, relationship was done there. When he called her homie and friend and all this other stuff, that relationship was done. Because that's how he viewed her. And that's how he was always going to keep her in that box.
Well,
the relationship was done when she kissed him at the wedding. He did not like when she grabbed his face and kissed him. It was from that point and moment on, he saw the aggressiveness from her. That's where it stemmed from. The very, very beginning. That's where all this stemmed from.
And he needs to take accountability for that, because there ain't no way you're going to be in the show the whole entire time and you don't correct her because of the behavior. It's because he doesn't know how to be able to correct her. Now, that's the biggest issue he has, because he could have just corrected her and said, listen, look, I don't like it that way. You know what I'm saying to you? So for me personally, it's like, I hear that, and I definitely think EMEM has some passive-aggressive tendencies, because her family said it. So I was waiting for it to come out, you know what I'm saying to you? But she played the game well. But, he's got to take accountability for that. He has to learn that, you know what I'm saying to you? He has to learn how to communicate, like we were saying about Thomas and talking about Alan, about being assertive in your communication, where it's not aggressive and it's not passive, but it is letting the person know, this is what I want. I don't, give me some time to be able to come to you. Give me some time to be able to set things ablaze. But let's be honest, that is not a sign of a man that ever found her attractive. I'm sorry. I know he was in the beginning happy, but that is not a man that's attractive, because the man would have tried at first, and I didn't see no trying. A man that finds that attractive would have been like, I'm going to try. Okay, she's burning my size out here, but I'm going to try a little bit and then quit. He didn't do that. He quit like from early. And that's usually a telltale sign. The brother don't like you. He don't find you attractive. You know what I'm saying to you? So I do think that M has some aspect of areas that she can work on. I think everybody has, but I think you guys have made some great points about EMEM and some of the stuff that she can work on to be better in her next relationship. As we can see, if you've seen some posts, I think she's already engaged. So shout out to her and be blessed. You know, Ike though, brother, this is not a good look. I can't lie to you. You know, we talk about the women and how they behave, but this one here, Ike, is taking the biscuit, bro. It's taking the biscuit. He gonna have to really work on some really quality upgrades on his behavior, because no white woman, no black woman, no Latino woman, no woman that's on the planet of Earth is going to want to deal with that trash behavior that he brought to the table when he doesn't get his way or whatever he feels like is happening to him. He's got to learn how to communicate. And even with Keisha, she was pulling teeth. I personally don't think it's because Keisha's more emotionally intelligent, although I can accept that perspective. I think he also is somebody who's not dumb. Some people are just not, they're not dumb enough to realize that they're in a particular environment, they have to behave differently. You know what I mean? Like some people know, like everyone says, oh yeah, I can talk anyhow. But when you were going to the queen or the king, you didn't talk that way. You didn't talk that way to the politician. You didn't talk. You know who you can and can't do that to, and he's one of those people. He knows who he can and can't do that to. He could have done that to Keisha too. So, personally, I don't think he would have changed. But I accept everybody's point of view. I think you made some great points. Look, we've come to the end of the night anyway. Listen, and it's been a great conversation. Okay, all right. I had to take a little nap myself behind the scenes because, baby, I got a prayer time to go into right now, so I had to take a little nap. But I got some. I got a super chat. Got to read out by Kesha. She says, "Now he was being fake up in her face in that pool." I hear it. Thank you very much, Kesha, for the super chats. It's always appreciate Rose Kesha, who've been super chatting us as well today. Thank you very much. Claire112 as well. Nola, thank you. Jessica Green also sent something in as well. Shout out to you as well. Shout out to new members. Jean D. Aristide, I think it means. Aristide. Aristide, okay. With a Tilde? Okay.
It's
all
French.
Right, cool.
Probably
It's French,
Haitian.
is it? Oh, okay. All right. Fantastic. Yep. Hallelujah. Okay. And then got Arlene, who's also become a member too. Shout out to you as well for joining. And then we've got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. I almost asked what that was.
That's Easter.
Who?
This person.
That's Easton's ghost account, Kojo.
What y'all not gonna do is over here
him all night. That's been his number one cheerleader.
Because I've been converting folks.
EFGHI.
Yeah.
I've been converting folks. See, while he was gone, we was connected. I was telling them, I was spitting.
I heard.
Listen,
thank you, Easton.
Listen, don't worry. I told you, Easton. Listen, I told you stay on these panels long enough, you gonna get a fan base like everybody else. They hate Sean the same way, and they found him and loved him. They love his raw head of his. You know what I'm saying? So listen, they're gonna love you because everyone has different points of view. Just gotta get used to it. You know what I'm saying, Chu? Like people have to get used to different points of view. So, you know, shout out to you. You know what I'm saying as well for holding the line. You know, this today was a little bit suspect. I wasn't sure if Seaway didn't go to the ball game or not, because I mean, like her spirit was on you. But you know, we appreciate you and your different points of view as well, because it always adds to the conversation as well.
Not Easton channeled me today. I love it.
I don't know what you're saying behind the scenes.
I just saw the light with David.
I'm just saying she be tapping you up. She be tapping you up. That's what I'm saying. But okay, Sean, we need a benediction, sir. We need a benediction. We're gonna wrap this up. We need a bit. He down here pulling out his notes. He went deep in his Bible.
No. I wanted to respond to A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. You know, it's all love. You know, we just playing. You know. But
yeah, that may not be Easton, Sean. He a little aggressive, or he or she a little aggressive. Easton ain't even that aggressive. Easton a little nicer than that. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H.
Yeah, I think that's what wins us over with Easton, because he's, you know, he just takes everything with such grace. You know, he don't get ruffled. He don't get, you know, all riled up. You know,
he takes
disagree with him. He's just gonna shake it off like water on the duck's back. You know.
We did win, Felicia. We won.
So on to the benediction, because I know sleep. I'm in between sleep and Kojo, so I don't want that to be my problem today. So listen, I think we had a good episode, good discussion tonight. We agreed more than we disagreed. I think some of the key lessons that we learned. We talked about this a little bit yesterday in the men's panel, so check that out if you haven't. But boundaries are super important. Boundaries are the key to success. We think about Allen and Maddison. Listen, don't be a pushover thinking that's going to get you the ticket to the entry. Be who you are, stand up, speak for yourself. Kindness is okay, but we don't want to have facades of niceness. Be kind, but also don't allow yourself to be taken advantage of. We think about Maddison and Maddison. Yeah, don't be fake, don't be phony. And listen, if you don't want somebody, don't talk to them, but don't have them try to bend themselves into circles. Don't lie, don't gaslight, don't try to, make them think that they got a chance with you. And there's no chance, don't stand an Ice Cube's chance in hell, So be honest, please. David and Michelle, same for David. Listen, stand in your truth, bro. We support you in your basement if you ain't getting treated right, but don't try to tell us, don't try to tell us it's raining while you pissing on our legs. You know what I'm saying? We know you've been talking with Tiffany, Heffany, aka Maddison, since the honeymoon, bro. We know what you've been doing, late night creeping. Do better, okay? Advocate for yourself. If you see there's no future, speak for yourself. Say, listen, I'm out. But, don't be lying, trying to creep. And Michelle, be honest, okay? You ain't never wanted that dude. And listen, I think you're right for not wanting him. But don't try to change up now because the man done effed up royally. Don't try to make it seem like I knew all along. You didn't quite know that. You might have known a couple things, but you ain't know that. All right, so just stand in your truth. Don't worry. You won't be villainized, but please don't try to make yourself the wounded lamb in this whole story. EMEM and Ikechi, listen, EMEM, finally, we was waiting for you, sis. We're rooting for you. Please don't go back. Don't go to any arcades. Don't let anybody breadcrumb you. Okay, if they want you, they will. If a man wants you, trust me, he's going to come for you. My girl Carla, I know we didn't really talk about her, but my girl Carla said it on the after party. If a man wants you, he's going to come for you, right? So we will come for you, ladies, if we want you. If we ain't coming for you, fall back. It ain't happening. And I get help, bro. Get help. You're counseling kids and showing them the future. Get help. Get healed. For anybody that's struggling, with whatever you got going on, don't lash out. Don't be the hurt people that hurt people. Get yourself help. Back to you, Coach.
Thank you very much, Sean. I appreciate it. Listen, audience members, it's been a wonderful. It's been the most wonderful time. No, I'm sorry, it's too early. All right, listen, look, guys and ladies, it's been fun. It's been enjoyable. The panelists have done an excellent job of exposing and talking on a deeper plane with their expositions, choosing different sides, giving different angles to this particular show as well. I hope you're loving the breakdowns. We're going to be back on Saturday night. Yes, we're back on Saturday night. So those of you who are going to the club, you're not going there anymore. Why? Because you're stuck with us at night time, watching RTL, breaking it down once more again. It's been a long time since we've done one, so I'm looking forward to chopping it up once more. I'm sure we'll have people in the DMs again, because when it comes to RTL, baby, we're a bit too close. But listen, we look forward to being able to chop it up on that Saturday night. And having a good conversation once more. I think it was a little bit earlier. I will do it like 7 p.m. EST because I think we get you guys out, man. You probably want to do something later on in the evening or whatever. So those of you who are late night goers who go to the club, I don't want to need to waste all your night. But yeah, look, we look forward to it as well. And then Sunday next week, not this week, but next week, we start our Love is Blind panels as well. I've got a few people who have reached out to me. If you want to be part of the panels, please reach out to me on my email, littleblackbird91@gmail.com, and send me an email if you want to be part of the panels for Love is Blind, a new season. We can't wait to chop it up with you guys and ladies as well. Remember, these panels are going to be members only during those times. So whenever we do a panelist thing, it's going to be members only. So if you haven't signed up to be a member, which is £1 and $1, okay, I didn't charge you an arm and a leg, then you won't be able to chat up. So shout out to those who have joined us new as well. It's been an amazing time as well. Latoya, thank you. Trey, Glenn, it's great to see you again. Hopefully we have you back more often as well. Phil, Seaway, Easton, shout out to y'all as well. Okay, someone said I must start on time. Now that's something that you can't promise and guarantee, but what I can guarantee is the show gonna be amazing. Okay, all right, and you gonna leave here with what? Something. All right, so we're gonna love you and leave you and tonight, and we'll hopefully see you guys on a Saturday night. Let's go.
I'm leaving here with something. You know what I mean? I'm from around the